G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome back to the next episode of the Trackside Lounge podcast. Thank you all for joining us today. We are here with a very special guest today, but first of all we do have to introduce the dynamic trio we've got going on. Nismo and Atom, thank you once again and welcome. Say hello to everybody.
Totally diddly.
Oh, it's good to be here. Good to be back. While between episodes, but the people have cried out for more, so we're back.
Oh yeah, and I think we're back with a bit of a bang today because we are joined by perhaps one of the most iconic Oceanian streamers in the Gran Turismo world. We are here, joined by the one and only Chadryce. Chadryce in the house.
G'day,
How's it
gorgeouses? That is far too kind. Iconic, yes.
It's all you. It's all you.
Yeah, memorable? Probably for the wrong reasons, but it's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
I can't imagine a single person in the Oceanian Gran Turismo bubble that doesn't know who Chadryce is, and it is honestly, I have to say, it's an absolute honour to be joined by you today. It means so much to all three of us. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
You. My pleasure. No, thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me be here, and thank you for being here. But absolutely humbled, to be honest with you, to be able to actually sit down for a moment with all these beautiful people that I've spoken to at different times, where one's been typing and then the other one's been talking, and now we've been talking, and it's nice to actually have an interaction, and I'm vibing it. So no, it's great to be here. Thank you. And well, with the likes of Mr. McEwen and other people you've had on, I've definitely. Not the driving side of it, that's for sure, but I'm here...
You're an elite company,
yeah, it's so good. So I think Atom's actually got a lot of the prompts today, but I will ask, just before we get into all the prompts we got today, Chadryce, for those who don't know, just tell us a bit about yourself, like who you are, and yeah, just...
Well, let's... where do I start? Obviously I'm an Oceanic streamer, as you said. Attempted streamer, and a pretend-ish sim racer. I do try. Very difficult to get anywhere near the front, so I just try to not embarrass myself and keep in between the mayo and the mustard. But other than that, myself, I'm just some dude that was lonely during COVID that wanted to make some friends, and luckily enough, Daddy Bezos gave us a great platform to do so. And in saying that, what started off just as a very small... I'll give it a shot. I've got a share button on my G29. See what happens to two beautiful humans, one Italian and one UK fella that kept me coming back. And thankfully, they did, because who would have known where this would have ended up? So, yeah, streaming, Twitch, Gran Turismo is obviously the bread and butter, but we do a little bit of other side hustle. But other than that, yeah, just some mid-30s dude with a creepy moustache.
Oh, hell yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so Smokes just pretty much stolen my first prompt there, which was kind of get into who you are and what you do. Kind of talking about your stream career. You and I both know you started out streaming your FIA races, right?
Yes.
And then it was kind of when you developed a few followers and you got some people asking for open lobbies because they wanted to race this cool streamer guy, Chadryce. How did that transition come about? You started out with the FIA and you decided to do more lobbies, and we haven't really seen you at FIA since. So what inspired that and what made you want to do that?
Look, I'll be honest, the FIA was my main grab for content. So I didn't know what else to do. I didn't really do dailies too often because just the repetitiveness sort of got to me a little bit. So I really just focused mainly on the nations menu and stream them. But obviously that all came to an end at the end of the season. And I sort of sat there and went, well, what do we do now? I don't know where we go. What I don't want to do dailies all the time because I don't want you to just keep on watching the same thing. So someone suggested open lobbies. And I said, well, why not? Let's give it a go. And ever since then, yeah, open lobbies kicked off. We had a fantastic group of humans, Adam, Nizzy, so many fantastic people to start off with, which really... I just focused in on that and really sort of found my niche because I enjoyed the social and the whole organising everyone to be together at one point over just me just cruising around mid-pack-ish. I've never pretended or will I exclaim to be a fantastic driver. Sometimes there's moments of glory. Other times it's just moments of mild frustration. But, yeah, it's sort of the transition just stayed there. And then FIA came back and I said, well... no, stuff it. I get too angry. I think my last FIA race was at MX5 around Yamigawa, and I got spun and I raged, and it was a part of me that I didn't like, and I was like, nah, that's it. I've had it. I'm having too much fun just chilling and relaxing, so let's just continue with that. And since then, yeah, it's just been literally lobbies. I haven't done FIA. I've done a couple charity races where I got lapped by the likes of Emery, Sai, everyone. I would think I was the only one that got lapped, which is fantastic. So that's a achievement. So yeah, other than that, yeah, I've really sort of steered away. Sorry, I should say from FIA. Away from the FIA.
UK accent there a little bit.
yeah, I know. It's a bad thing. It's Kia Ora. I sort of just blend in Bogan, New Zealand sometimes, South African, a bit of Scottish, thanks Double R11. Also UK. It's just what happens, isn't it?
Lovely UK viewers, eh?
I gotta love the UK.
It's nice to know that there's someone else out there who absolutely avoids dailies like the plague. I just don't like them. I mean, even if I needed to grind some DR, which obviously some people use dailies exclusively for, like grinding their rank, I just can't do it. I don't see the point. I don't really have fun, and more often than not, you're going to get bumped into by some crazed backpack guy. So anyway, it's
laps in OGR sim racing.
Whoa!
No, they seem like good guys. But
I can echo what Nismo said. I jumped on the other day for a couple of daily races. It was last week. We had the F1500 TA at Suzuka for daily race A, Brands Hatch Group 3 for daily race B. I didn't look at race C, but race A, I did one qualifying lap, put me on pole, drove away from the field. So that was boring.
Oh, it's like flex.
There's
a bit of this going on there, bro.
No, sorry. I should clarify. My lap wasn't very good because I almost went off in the corner. But yeah, it's just there's no one in there, so that's the main problem. And then race B, I was like second after a couple of qualifying laps. The guy in first drove away, and I wasn't racing anybody. So I understand why these daily races are not that great.
Yeah. And I get that they tried to like amend that somewhat. I mean, most of the time, race A doesn't affect your rank anymore. They've changed it now so that race A is usually a free do whatever you want.
Yeah, DRSR.
Yeah. There'll be heaps clean in there for sure. That's a good idea.
You think that?
Well, at least it doesn't matter if you get smoked by someone like ripped off the track. You know.
Yeah. I mean, there was was it a couple of weeks back when we had Catalunya, the rallycross one? That was actually really good fun, and because there was no safety rating, which obviously rallycross, your safety rating would get tanked. It was actually really good fun. I quite enjoyed that one.
There's opportunity there. Yeah,
Rallycross though, the best addition to Gran Turismo 7. I'm gonna have to say it. Too much fun. It's become a staple of stream ends. You know, when we go to Catalunya Rallycross, we're winding it up, but we wind it up with a big smile and always just a whole bunch of GGs. So yeah, it's good that they didn't put any. Yeah, SR would be absolutely tanked. I think that'd be a new grade down the very, very bottom. Yeah,
go down to F. You're always streaming with a smile on your face too. Like even when I've seen things happen that would get to a lot of people, and you always smile through it, even when you're telling someone off. It's brilliant, and it's such a positive vibe all the time. I remember when you were in your early days, you started saying, "Oh, it's the best community on Twitch," and I was like, "Oh, that's big cool, but it has proven that it is the best community on Twitch. It's such a good place to be." I haven't met someone who said, "Oh, I hate being in Chadryce's chat. It sucks." No one's ever said that.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever really anyone who's had anything bad to say about Chad either. You're just one of those guys. He just radiates positivity. Oh wait, he's still there, right?
I can't hear you. Yeah, unfortunately. Do you want me to turn these off? We can actually talk some smack, or but no, thank you very. No, that's extremely humbling. And yeah, honestly, the best community on Twitch was just a passing catchphrase, which has now evolved more than a community, I believe, to so much more. Because like the friendships we have here, I can honestly say I'm sitting with 3 friends we may have never met. May have had a couple naughty orders or anything like that, but yeah, it's grown so much more. But yeah, thank you. And how can I not smile? I'm having a great time, and in honesty, gaming has become kind comes secondary to me. I'm just really happy being a streamer and interacting and getting to know people and understanding people's stories and different walks of life. It's just, I just love doing it. So, it's the time where my face hurts and I cry way too much because I can't deal with these compliments, but I appreciate it, and it's very, very, very humbling, to be honest with you.
It's a great place to be, and the career for you has really taken off. You owed a big congratulations because you did fairly recently hit partner on Twitch, right? Sitting pretty at 5.4k subscribers. You know, how good? What was it like when you hit partner? What was your first reaction?
Disbelief. Utter disbelief. I knew we were getting very close with the launch of Gran Turismo 7, and I was really hoping to see a lot more of our friends achieve partnership. But with the issues Gran Turismo 7 has had, it sort of dropped numbers a little bit quicker than what I was expecting. So initially we were very lucky because we had the likes of Emery coming through the big raids, Mort, who's not a Gran Turismo streamer, but a great streamer. And again, he was relying heavily on F1, 21, 22 has really tanked him. So the first time we got the little thing saying you've done it, 75 average, all the other things we had to do. Righto, I'm going to apply for partnership. I kept it quiet. I didn't want to do a partner push because honestly, I'm humbled and I'm absolutely, I'm still blown away by it. But I started streaming just so, as I said, I didn't cry. So I felt something to be a part of something. And to get that partnership was the ultimate, but something that I really wasn't trying to push for. And the first time we applied, we got rejected. And that hurt so much. Yeah. It was just the biggest kick. I was like, well, what can we do? So, and I was watching the numbers drop, and we had another 30-day period, and my numbers just slid below 75, but I could still apply. So I went, stuff it, let's try again. And the second time we got through, and the utter disbelief of, congratulations, you're a partner, was... Yeah, it honestly really hasn't sunk in, to be really honest with you, and it's been 6-7 months because it was an amazing achievement, and it's just great to have a beautiful group of friends that I could share that growth and that journey with. And more importantly, after the first time we missed it, I was just gutted because I felt like I honestly let everyone down to a point of like we could have done this, and I sort of put it on myself, and to have that tick for everybody that's there, like our Canadian viewers who are up at 3 o'clock in the morning, American viewers up at the Sparrows Fart, like there's so many people, or our New Zealand friends up super late, to have those people being there. It was just like, we did it, like who would have ever thought? So it was and still is amazing. I'm truly, again, blessed.
Thoroughly deserved. Did they give you a reason for rejection the first time?
They wanted to see my numbers continue, growth to continue, and the average to continue. So I think they sort of saw that Gran Turismo 7 was my bread and butter, and obviously being launch month, 24-hour stream, which we managed to hold 100 and something average viewers.
That's so good.
Hours. Which was, again, unbelievable. I can barely put up myself for 24 minutes, and for 24 hours, it was amazing. I think it was an average of 126. I can't remember, to be brutally honest with you. But, they wanted to see a continuation of growth, or if we could hold it, which we did. So we were still getting the followers. The average was the big one. So we were very lucky, and again, to people like other partnered streamers, Emery was really Jimmy Broadbent. That was an amazing one as well.
Yes, I saw Jimmy.
So we've had 2 Jimmy Broadbent raids, which was unbelievable. I think in one of Jimmy's raids we got 55 follows.
Wow.
Yeah, because we were hovering around at, I think it was just under 5K, just before he hit the 5K. And Mr. Broadbent came through, and it was just so humbling to have, like Emery, someone that I've watched, and a fantastic sim racer. Obviously, Cy, we all know him. Mr. Broadbent, someone who I thought would never, let alone follow, which he did, which was, I thought was a meme. I sort of said, well, someone who came up and it was like, oh, Jimmy Broadbent followed. I'm like, oh, yeah, g'day, Jimmers. How you doing, champ? And sort of just brushed to the side, like, yeah, good on you. Who's in charge of this ult?
Who's made it?
And then our favourite of awesome as Nats did a shout out, and there's Jimmy Broadbent's head, and I was like, what do I do here? So that was really cool. But to those people without the other raiders and the people that continuously, doesn't matter if you're 500, just thinking of us and bringing through 2 people. Thank you. Like, it's those people that bump up other people's numbers. It's just to everyone. It was just a big tick of approval. And honestly, it is. So, pretty happy. Pretty happy.
Yeah.
So much better than any follow for follow sort of program.
Oh, yeah. I thoroughly do not like that at all.
Do you guys want to do a quick follow for follow?
Sub DM. Can I ask, actually, I'm not that familiar with how, like, the Twitch partnership works. What are they looking for when, like, you request partner? What exactly are they looking for?
So you have 4 achievements, and when you get it, so it's like when you hit affiliate. Affiliate, you have to have average of 3, 50 plus followers, be streaming for a certain amount of hours over a 30-day or 26-day period or something like this. I think that's about it. There's 4.
Okay, right.
But with partner, it's just an amplified version of that. So it's 75 average. Need to stream for so many hours, and another couple things. So once you hit it, they have, like, on the Twitch page, Smock, they have like a checklist. And you get a check.
Right. Okay.
Once you get the 4, then it says you can apply for partner. Or same with it to anyone that's hit affiliate. It's the exact same process. It's just an amplified version of it. So you sort of sit there and watch your averages after each stream.
Right, okay.
The hard one's getting the 75 viewers all the time.
Yeah, 75.
Having 75 people watching you at once all the time. Because, like, when you first start the stream, you have 0. No one's watching for like the first 5 minutes, and that brings your average down. So it's really hard to hit that. You really need to be trying to average, 100 viewers all the time to meet that 75 consistently. So it just shows how big of an achievement that it is.
Right. Yeah. Okay. A bit of commitment there, then. Jeez.
I don't know if this was in one of Atom's prompts, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Just obviously, Gran Turismo is like 99% of your content, right?
Yes.
But what else do you stream? What else do you play? Just for those that have seen this guy for the first time. Hey, he's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't know Gran Turismo, but what else does he do?
Well, a little bit of everything. I sort of dip my toes into a lot of games because myself, I have the amazing ability to buy a game, play it for about 3 to 4 hours, turn it off, and never switch it on again. So I've missed out on some great titles and finishing some great titles. So having friends that are going to be there gives me a reason to be there. And the game is obviously, as I said, I'm just happy to be having a chat, but it keeps me honest and keeps me focused on also finishing games, because I know with different titles, like sometimes I do horror streams, or we've got a really great thing now which is called Movie Mondays, where we watch narrative-based games and we allow chat to put polls. I put a poll up and they decide where we're going via chat. So it's really good interaction in that. So in saying that, that's helped me finish The Last of Us, which you just finished on Friday, which is the first one, the remake. And thank God I finished that, because that was amazing, and I can understand the hype. It was
really,
it's a fantastic game. So good. But so the movie, so narrative based, which we started at the quarry, went through all of the like Man Medan, House of Ashes, then on to Until Dawn, Twin Mirror, every sort of narrative based. Heavy Rain, which again is another all time, something I hadn't played till the end, or had and never started it, and why didn't I? Because it was but Gran Turismo is my 4 days as we speak. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. The Last of Us we do every fortnight Friday, and Movie Mondays. But with the games coming out like Callisto Protocol, Dead Island, Silent Hill 2, Resident Evil 4 remake, Skull and Bones, I just continue to go where whatever games take my fancy. I'm not here to chase follows or chase clout. I'm not going to sell out to something unless I enjoy doing it, because I think if I do something that I'm not going to enjoy, it's going to resonate quite quickly through the stream. And, so if people want to be there and hang out, yes. If they don't, I get it, because we all got different tastes of games, and you see that you have different chats throughout your week. So Mondays have a different crew to Tuesdays. Well, Gran Turismo crew is very much the same, but you sort of have different people come in and out, which is really cool to see. But yeah, so anything that takes my fancy, but there is so many great games coming out in the near future. I'm going to have to find some more time to play them, and that's going to be the big thing. Because I don't want to cut Gran Turismo either, because I feel, we've got so many great series we're running. I can't really be like, right, everyone, we're dropping Wednesdays, but that's my modified midweek series. Or we're dropping Sundays. No, so I'm going to stick with what I've got, and then just make more time for more games.
Segue through on that, I had a prompt that was related to that as well. There might be some people watching who haven't seen your streams before. Would you be able to lay out what your weekly schedule looks like, times and days, and what sort of games you play?
Yeah. So, as I said, movie Mondays, you have to do the movie. That's every Monday with the time changes, because we've got the daylight savings, it sort of messed me up a bit. But local time for me, I'm Australian Central Daylight Savings time now, I think it is. ACDT.
A lot of words.
Too many. I'm in the guts of Australia, right down the bottom, and we're in a very unique place. But so about 7 p.m. my time, which I think to anyone in New Zealand, let's use that for instance, is probably 9:30ish. 9:30. But sort of all those times, and again, I try and be as consistent as I can with my start time. So Mondays, movie Mondays, I try and get in by about that time, and then kick it off as soon as we can. Tuesdays, same time, but that's on Gran Turismo, till about 12. So we run about 5-hour streams each stream. Wednesdays, again, starting at 7, 5-hour stream. Fridays, Fortnite, which is where we pick up different games, so whatever's sort of trending or we're trying to finish, which again, as I said, The Last of Us, which are now moving on to The Last of Us Part 2, which again, I'm super excited about. Saturdays, 7 p.m. till whenever, because I don't have to get up for work, and Sundays, again, 7 p.m. I've tried to be as consistent as I can for a routine for myself, so I can be honest and work my work life and the balance that I'm trying to continue to go. And have this is my time. So if I don't answer my phone, it's because I'm yelling at people on the internet. I'm probably dancing or doing something.
So you're streaming a 6-day week. 6-day streaming week.
6 days pretty well. Yeah, we do rotating Fridays. Just to give a little bit more time. But at the moment, again, with The Last of Us, I was so enamored with it and just wanted to continue on. I was streaming 6-day weeks for 3 weeks in a row there. Day off, come back.
The Last of Us has that effect. I don't know if you've played it, Atom, but yeah, it has that effect on people.
Oh, I bet it does.
Really, I've owned it. I've never played it though.
Stop it!
They don't.
Mate,
They don't.
it is the title and the gameplay, the story is. I was completely enamored with it, and the remake version as well. There's sometimes I'm not much for sort of just looking at the wilderness and being like, isn't that so nice? That's lush. And in that game, there's so many points of just the light hitting throughout the the sort of urban sparseness that has all been reclaimed by nature, and it's just this. It's spectacular.
Okay.
I
think you're selling it to me.
Yes, Sony, thank you.
Sold out to The Last of Us. But he has.
Naughty dog.
I remember the quote exactly. I won't sell out to something I don't like. But he said he liked The Last of Us. He's sold
Naughty
out.
Dog.
He's getting paid
Naughty
for this.
dog, hit this man up.
Speaking of getting paid, or not, maybe not getting paid, but you mentioned sponsors before you came in. Are there any sponsors you want to shout out that are on board with the channel that have been really good to you?
This lot here, they're all right. Track Racer, again, an affiliate that I got, being that I bought a whole track race thing, and I saw that, well, why not try and promote it? And no, they're not sponsors.
Now we're dreaming, are we?
Hopefully it's a nice stream. But
I see it on the seat there.
We always got to have it around. There we are, baby. So Track Racer has been my go-to. We just applied for affiliate, and they said, righto, and it was sort of another surreal moment to think a company as vast as Track Racer to back us or myself, I should say, is again extremely humbling, and it's been a great partnership. Again, it was just really to save a couple bucks with my friends, and if I can save 5-10%, that's wicked. I get a couple cool stickers, and there's not really much in it, and obviously you do get a commission on your sales if people use your code, but again, if you want to use it and you want to use Track Race, I know there's some other people that might use different brands. No shade, but yeah, there's so many great options when it comes to sim rigs. But yeah, that's been the main. We have I have been talking to another few companies in regards to something else, but we'll see what happens. Again, I'm just trying to support
plans in the pipeline.
Well, maybe it's a local. There's a local Australian designer and clothing maker, which again I sort of reached out to because I love what he does and said, "Well, can I just wear it? I don't want anything, but I'm hoping that we can get like a discount code or something to help with that as well." And a couple, there's a little things.
Yeah, it's always nice supporting a company that you're truly, you're truly a fan of. Small companies. I'm similar with like people who make content in particular, like music artists even. If there's music that I want to push, like I'll listen to it, I'll put it on my stream, put it out there, particularly for the smaller ones, because the big ones they don't need the help, but the little ones that you think are like unseen talent. Smock is an example of that as well. We know his YouTube content is fantastic, and I've always thought from start to finish, ever since we sort of met, that his content was deserving of many more views than it actually gets.
I think
You stop it, you. Oh.
Take that. It's not awkward to get compliments at all, is it? Just sit there. We can't really see your face whether you're blushing or not, so that's kind of nice.
I'm blushing. My face has gone bright black. Can you see?
So, what for you, Chad? What has been the highlight of your streaming career so far? If you had to name one moment out of it all, whether it was live on stream or something that happened off stream or something relevant to the stream, what do you think was the highlight? I'll come back to you if you have to think about it.
No, I'm good. It's hard to put one and say there's been one moment.
You can pick more than one.
Okay, we're not. All right, no numbers. All right, let's start. So where the hell? So the first time was when So when we hit affiliate, was a monumental. We hit it relatively quickly, but it was the first time I cried on the internet. And it was just a very, very, very exciting an experience. Honestly, I went into streaming with quite low self-esteem. Didn't think, I only have a few IRL mates. So I really didn't think anyone wanted to sort of hang out, and to have that and that realization that we had so many people, I think it was like 11 average when we hit affiliate. It was just a very, overwhelming experience to know that there's a whole bunch of people that I may never have met, and I may never meet IRL, but that are here and supporting and just being lovely and having a chat and having a laugh. That was probably a really great highlight. 1K, as you'd know, Mr. Adam, another big highlight for myself. Again, once you get that little followers number that goes from numbers to 1K and up, it's just another sort of wow, it's just another really big, fulfilling moment.
Yeah,
it is. But it's been the friendships, it's been the laughs that have happened. Like I could name so many times and say one person that's been a highlight. But there's been some fantastic messages that have just completely just made me sit back and think about everything and really appreciate the rawness and sometimes the fact that people can be so open and the fact that we can, as a community and as a group of friends, can help each other. So there's been so many fantastic moments, but then there's other times where I've drunken out of a shoe. That's pretty fun. There's the tattoo. Obviously, I've got the 1,000 follower tattoo on the back of my leg.
Yeah.
5K. I can't. The whole journey, I can't say a bad thing. And that's the honest truth. There's been a couple times with bot rage, which was kind of hot for a minute, and trolls. But again, the good vibes, which we've obviously pushed quite a bit, have really sort of, you kind of look a bit stupid if you come in and act anything but nice, because there's just going to be a whole influx of good vibes. And what I like to call like our mini mods, our group of friends is so close and we protect each other so much that we've got a great mod squad, obviously, super, super in debt to them. But also just the people there, the Chadsters that are there to good vibes only, dude. Tell your story, walking.
The Chadsters have always got your back, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I can't say bad words because they're not going to let me get down, and I'm not going to get down because I'm just really happy to be there. In all honesty, so I think the first and the one that stands out the most was affiliate, because there's a realization that we could be on here. Well, maybe I'm not as bad as I think I am in my head, mate. And that was sort of a big stepping stone for me to grow. On my own journey and sort of go forward and sort of rebuild myself, which is really sweet. So I'm not going to cry anyway. So it's all good. All good.
So on that as well, like you say it was kind of affiliate, but you've come a long way since then. When was like the moment when you kind of realized, oh wow, this is getting really serious, I'm getting really famous here, this is a lot of people? Did it overwhelm you at any point? Did it kind of hit you when you were offline and you go, I'm over 3K or something, that's 3,000 people. That's, I don't know, like you could fill a decent sized arena with that, like, was there a moment where you kind of went, this is getting out of hand? I think 50. I was like, if I were to stand in front of 50 people, I would just stand there and do this. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Since everything that's happened, again, the growth and everything that I've sort of, the confidence that I now have has definitely sort of done that. But to think at any point, every time someone follows, I think, wow, that person doesn't have to do that and they're here. But 5K, sometimes I even just look at, like, I don't have a viewer count on during the stream because, again, if I was to chase numbers, I think I could get disheartened too quickly. And I think a lot of streamers do, because you think you can come in and change your world and everybody wants to watch me play a game, but there's so many fantastic content creators that I just turn off my viewer count and stream to like I'm streaming to those 5,000 people. But it could only be 3. Who knows? But it's just to keep myself going. I try not to think about the numbers too much, but when I do sit back sometimes after stream and I see the average or the whatever, I just sort of sit there, and if I've got Double O Raven, who's our commentator, I'll just sort of sit back and be like, wow, how unbelievable is that? There's a lot of times, almost every time I log on, I see my grow account, which is up and down, and then there's people unfollowing, and if I worried about it too much, I think I'd get too wrapped up in that, and it's not what it's about. I'm just here to hopefully keep smiling, and if I can make someone else laugh, whether it's with me or at me or in any way, bring it on. So there's it's crazy. When we had 550 people in chat at once, or from one raid, I think the most we've had in chat was almost 900. I can't remember who the raid was. I think it was Emery. And like, I knew the raid was big because I saw the raid number when it came through. So Emery has raided with and
people.
Then,
what the heck?
Then I looked after stream, like, your max viewership was 9 or just under 900 by 1 or 2 or something like this. And to sit there and sit back and think, in this room in my little bubble here in South Australia, that there was 900 people potentially with their eyes directed, it's sort of terrifying. It's like, whoa. it's even doing stuff like this, like podcasts, it's just it's extremely it's something you can't, it's very, very, very hard to word. Once you start to really sort of go in depth, it's really
and the numbers
really
don't lie as well. Like, those are really impressive numbers, particularly when you take into consideration one of the biggest Twitch streamers on the Gran Turismo platform, Tyrannosaurus Rex, who we all know pretty well. He's been doing this for years, and I think he might have hit partner only slightly before you did.
Correct. Yeah, he did. He was only just before us. I think he was doing a partner push before Gran Turismo came out, so leading up to the hype of Gran Turismo 7.
That's right, he hit it just before GT7.
And then when it came out, and the partner push began, because after our 24-hour stream, I raided over to Sai because again, he's a fantastic streamer and someone that I look up to as a content creator and as a friend. And those arms, just like they're not bad, like Adam's arms. But it's really it was really cool to see him achieve that, and a very deserved. And he has continued to maintain and hold. I'm lurking on his streams quite a bit whilst I'm at work. And you see him maintaining 150, 130, 100 whatever people, and he does a great job at doing it as well. So, it's really great to see him achieve that. And obviously, him being full time, that's a big check. That's a big check mark. And he definitely deserved it. So big GGs to Sai. I think we can all say at one point he definitely stopped in and said g'day more than once. So
it's huge, and he like you say, he did thoroughly deserve it, and he'd been working at it for a very, very long time. And I don't know if you know the story about him and his wife and their situation and how they kind of both helped each other achieve their dreams. But it's one of the most wholesome stories I think on the internet. It just you haven't heard it. Well, but like I say, he's been working at it for so long, and he finally had his partner, and he deserved it. And you'd been on it for maybe half the time that he had, and you've had it as well. And I think it's just a hugely impressive feat to see out there. But the story of Tyrannosaurus Rex and his wife Molly. So if you don't know, his wife's name is Molly. So he when I don't know how long ago it was, but basically they had the conversation, and Cyrus was like, look, I will work full time and support you and help, and you can study to do what you want to do, at what your dream is, which is to be a nurse. And she went and studied to be a nurse. I believe it was a nurse. I could be wrong. But she went off, she studied to be a nurse, and I think they get paid quite well in the US, so it was a good job to pursue. And then she turned around after that and she was like, look, I know you want to pursue streaming full time. I'll be the main income in the house and support you while you work to do something like that. And so they've both given each other the same in the same sense there. I think it's just a really, really cool, wholesome, happy story. And it's something that everyone would dream of. Yeah, dub relationship, it is.
Yeah, slightly jealous. Not gonna lie, I was jealous of his arms. Now I'm jealous of that. But what a beautiful relationship to have. And that's a big dub. That's like the ultimate GG. So look, I think that is something that is you don't hear it of enough. And obviously it's a rarity. Especially when it comes to streaming, to go full time and be comfortable is obviously a very big thing. But GGs to them. That is absolutely fantastic. And I'm glad to see that it's paying off for Sai, because the hard work is doing great. And he's doing some big things off stream too, like some
he's traveling the world this year. He's on it, man. He's so on it. Yep. That's great. No, speaking of, facts that we didn't perhaps know, so obviously you hadn't heard that story. Is there an exclusive fact about yourself that perhaps your viewers and followers would never have heard or seen on your streams, or you've never kind of put out there ever? Like maybe your favorite food is dog food for some reason. I don't know.
I've eaten it on stream, but that's okay.
No one's ever heard something that no one knows about Chadryce. Is there anything that comes to mind?
He's thought of something.
No. There's illegal. No, I don't know. Honestly, I'm pretty hot scoop. I'm pretty raw. What you see is what you get, and that's the honest truth. So, if anybody wants to ask me a question on stream, I will give you the answer. I've had some big life lessons. I've had some funny stories. I've had some embarrassing, all get up times. But something. Dog food I've eaten, so we can't hide that. I did that on stream. I've drunk out of a shoe on stream. I've drunk out of another receptacle on stream.
That's just standard Australian, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But so it's. I don't know. I love Adam. I love Nismonath. I love Smock. I don't honestly. You got me stumped, Adam. You got some good questions, man.
There's a good.
You got me.
It's a good question when there's no answer.
I'm just fishing for content. That's a clip if it comes about. While you're thinking about it, we'll move into something else. So I want to know what a day in the life looks like for Chadryce. Some people probably won't understand like sort of what you go through every day, and you're a full-time worker and what is essentially a full-time streamer as well. You're working 2 full-time jobs. What does a normal day look like for you?
A normal day of life for me is getting a phone call from Mama Rice, my mum, who's my business partner now. Was my boss, but I'm slowly taking over her business, over the family business, I should say. So I get a phone call from her saying, get up, it's time to go earn some money and do your bloody job. So I wake up and a sparrow's fart to that after streaming way too late, inevitably. And then I go to work full-time running a business, essentially. So I do security technician work, so I install CCTV. And yes, some are not. No, they're all legitimate, of course. Everyone seems to think that I install them in inappropriate places, but that's for me to know and for you to never find out. But I do that, and I do that full time. So that's from quoting, invoicing, installations, everything. So that will be generally from 7:30 till I finish. 9 times out of 10, I'm sitting here, maybe with a shower if I'm lucky, in the chair, scoffing down some microwave meal, and then go into doing 5 hours a night. So throughout the week, especially at the moment, work is flat out, so that's fantastic. But it definitely, by the end of my stream week, as I call it, my day off, I really start to turn into a big pile of just gibberish. And Wednesday streams are probably the streams where I say the silliest and most not disrespectful, that's the wrong word, but the most questionable things, I think, is the best way of saying it. Loose as, I just forget what I'm saying, and that's one thing. I just sort of, whatever comes to my head, it comes out of my mouth. And yeah, it's with that, doing that 5 days a week. Like this week, I work Saturday, and currently, unfortunately, my old boy's having a little bit of a time in the hospice, which he's doing great. But that means I've gained one other pug. And a whole bunch of responsibilities to go with it. But in my week, it's, work, and early mornings, late nights. And when I get
an Australian man.
Yeah, geez. I seriously, I look up to people that do that, because I work basically full-time, but it's only 4 days a week. And, like, I find myself just wrecked at the end of some days. And it's just, that's crazy that how much work you actually do. I don't think people really understand that.
And then the energy on the stream.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you just woke up and had 3 Monster energy drinks, you know? You're just bouncing off the walls in your streams, man. And you've just come back from a hard day's work.
Yeah,
How do you do it? What's your secret?
I don't get it.
I don't know. Some days I literally sit in this chair, eating my microwave, whatever junk food it is, and thinking to myself, I don't know if I can do this one. But then there's that little button on the bottom of Streamlabs there that says go live. I click that. I type in my description. My lights flash to let me know that we're live. Then I see that first person come through, whether that be my moderator, Wallbung, or Crunk Monkey. And no matter what I'm feeling, no matter how my day was, then it's just, you just get into it. I just sort of just zone out, and it's my happy place. It's where I want to be. Wow. So I'll find that energy, and 9 times out of 10 I'll finish stream and jump down onto the computer and punch out some quotes and invoicing till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and again wake up and think to myself, how am I going to do this again? Get through that day and jump back on stream, and I'm just happy. Honestly, it's just the endorphins that rush. Who knows what's going to happen on that stream? Who knows the friend that I'm going to make, or the person I can meet, or the difference I can make to someone with or without not knowing it. Yeah, that rips. So that's what keeps me going. Honestly, it's just the fact that I love streaming. I love my friends. I love the best community on Twitch. I love everything that's come from it. So, yeah, it's a good time all the time. I try to be anyway.
Did you ever quit the full-time work and go full-time streamer?
That's the dream, right? I would say no. And the reason why I say no is the longevity of streaming. Who knows when it could stop? So I want to, with the way the world is at the moment, the price of bloody petrol, and, a can of Pringles is now $4 on special, which is silly expensive. But just, streaming, I always want that fallback. And my beautiful mother has made a fantastic business in here. She's run it by herself for before I came in, it was 20 years. by herself in a very male-dominated industry. She did such a great job. And for her to hand those reins over to me, it's extremely humbling. And I want to do it for me mum and show me mum I can do it because I want to make her proud. Will I try to take more of a managerial role in the company and do less installations and manage more people doing it so I can do things I enjoy more? Yes, 100%. So if I can do that and still run the business and not take away from that, but if I don't have to climb through roofs or get dusty, sweaty, dirty, cut, if I can do the quotes and the easy stuff and then come on early and have a stream or stream in the mornings for all those beautiful northern hemispherical people that are usually up at a Sparrow's Farm to watch us, I'd like to be there to send them to sleep, hopefully. But yeah, it's a dream. If it happens, I won't say no, but I think I'll always still sort of work around and do the Hawks Vision stuff, which is a security company, and then sort of shift it. Whereas at the moment I'm doing Hawks Vision around streaming, I'll probably do streaming around Hawks Vision and make it work and sort of just shift the dynamics. But I still, I'm not going to be, this. Who knows? Who knows? I could still be streaming at 55, but the reality of it is, you never know what happens. I could fall out of
Twitch.
People could just
Twitch
be going
might not exist in 2055. Who knows?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah. If you had to do a platform change, where would you go?
I don't think there's anywhere else I could. In all honesty, and the reason is I started on Twitch because when I think of video games and streaming, I go to Twitch. When I want great podcasts or other things like Jimmy Broadbent or just bad driving compilations or TikTok cringe because that seems to be trending. Yeah, correct, of course.
Pardon? Say that again.
But I think of YouTube, and I think YouTube as a streaming platform has some massive streamers and some great content creators that have made the jump because it is a more fair dynamic, and I think YouTube is really pushing to try and grab that market from Twitch, which they are doing fantastically because unfortunately sometimes I think Twitch is being slightly money hungry and grabbing a little bit more of a percentage than I think is truly fair. But I digress on that. There's no shade, but
we love Twitch. Twitch is obviously the best, yes.
Correct, it is because the
we would never say a bad word.
No. And they pay way too much, like 50-50s. Oh, it's been no, but
legal reasons. This is joke.
Yeah. Of course, yes. Daddy Bezos, I still love you a little bit. But yeah, it's been. I would say I don't see. I could do the same thing on YouTube that we do on Twitch because my stream is very. As you beautiful humans know, I'm very interactive with the chat to a fault, I think, when it comes to racing. I get sidetracked and I'll see a comment and I'll start laughing and then I will drive into a wall or drive into the pits or drive into the pit wall or maybe unintentionally touch someone into turn one on any given track in any braking zone.
Glad you clarified that one.
Yeah,
correct.
Put context into that one.
I definitely agree that like Twitch is more the streaming platform and like YouTube is. I mean, even myself, like doing like the FIAs or the World Series races, like I'll stream the races on Twitch, but then I'll take the footage, flip it to just the race, and then put that on YouTube. So it's like almost like both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do the same thing. I'll just get the whole stream after 24 hours, copy and paste it onto the YouTube channel, so there's always going to be, and the reason why I started doing that, and I wish and I implore anyone that is starting streaming to do it. Even if nobody watches, it doesn't matter because that's going to be there. After your allotted time on Twitch, your 2 weeks, and now being partner, I think we get a month or 90 days. Once they're gone, they're gone. There's been so many great moments which I wish I could reflect on and look back on, and that is no more. So the one thing I started, especially since partnership, was to just push export to YouTube after 24 hours, obviously, because Daddy Bezos needs to keep that cut for that first bit, and then chuck it over onto YouTube as well. But yeah, YouTube, I think the findability on YouTube is just nowhere near as refined as what Twitch is. And it's hard. Like, you can search a specific name on YouTube and not even find it. And that's what makes it really difficult.
There's definitely...
sorry, you go, Nismo.
I was just gonna say there's a moment from like the early Chadryce days. I don't know if you remember it, Chad, but I didn't know how to clip back then, so it's probably lost to the void. But it was like the start of your stream, and shotguns a Red Bull like live on stream, like it's just gone live, and I was like, what?
Sounds like something Chadryce would do.
He had one of those like real big cans, and you could see, and like just gone live. And I clicked on him. Oh yeah, Chadryce, let's do this. And he's just sitting there, and he's got this Red Bull gun, just skulls the whole lot of shotguns. The thing. Like,
Context Chadryce.
That would have been perfect. That would have been a perfect clip, but well, I don't know if you remember that, Chad. But
I've done a lot of things and I forget, and some should be forgotten, I think. But yeah, look, I think the amount of times I've done that, and I don't think some people are there, so I'm sort of like, oh well, let's just get this into us real quickly, because as you said, if I just click go live, sometimes I'm having a chat to me dogs, sometimes I'm trying to figure out what I'm actually doing, because Tremor, 2 years in, I'm still learning a lot, so 9 times out of 10 I'm just sort of yelling at myself for not turning something on, or telling my dog to stop, or dogs now, sorry, two pugs to stop licking my legs or doing whatever they're doing, which is always a bit more entertaining. But I'd hate to imagine some of the things that have been seen and not seen.
You have a dog cam on your on your stream, don't you?
Two now. We got two dogs now. Two dogs. Yeah. Again, stream dog, aka my Juge, the hairy Nugget. He's gone. I don't know where he's gone now. But he was there, and it sort of just started like, oh, here's me dog, and people were like, oh, that's cute. And then I got another camera because someone said you should have a camera with a dog, and I was like, okay, cool. If you want to look at a dog, you can look at him. So I put the camera there, and little stream dog, he doesn't do much. Bless his soul. He should be protected absolutely in every way, because he is just too fantastic. He just sits up there, sleeps, sometimes moves, does not balk. But now we've got 2 dogs, so I do have 2 cameras, which I switch one on and off just to check in on my dad's dog, which is aptly named Squirt, which is a very interesting name to yell down at the beach or anywhere. So we try and just use a whistle for retrieving that dog. Or Squeaky Taco. We got the Squeakies. We got the Modesty Taco too, just in case it gets a little bit. If Junior decides to roll over, obviously he believes in no pants, and we have to put the Modesty Taco because nobody wants to see that. Especially Daddy Basil's probably.
We got to save it for the OnlyFans, man.
Correct, yeah. Only pugs. Please suss him out. Junior, huge slug. So he's with those 2 dogs, it sort of just became like a slight meme, and now they're an integral part, and a lot of people just follow for the dogs. Fine, if it makes you smile and you like looking, that's wicked. It's really cool to have obviously him be a part of it, because he just has to sit there for what is a working week and sleep and listen to me yell.
This is a tough job.
Yeah, he's got household. Yeah, he's got it rough. He's he's pretty hard up. I've seen him. He inspects the carpet, he's called quite a bit. The carpet inspector. So he used to fall out of his bed because, admittedly, he's slightly heavier, a little bit more heavy set. Big boy, big thick boy,
big boned. Is the correct
or a chonk? Yes, and he used to fall out. He used to fall out of his bed, so that became quite a bit of a meme. That obviously being a pug, he would sort of just like that and sleep with his face flat on the ground. So it's just been another. It's my sidekick now with 2. It's an absolute nightmare. So that's cool.
Oh wow! Did you manage to figure out a exclusive fact that no one's ever heard?
I don't wear pants always on stream. No, that's
is that true?
Yeah. I'm taking it off on stream.
I've got to avoid the rear-facing camera for that one.
Move that one now.
Air conditioning can only do so much.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. That's what I have to worry about. That's why I try to keep with tops on, because otherwise I'm like the Maltesers ad guy. Do you guys know that ad? Do you know that ad?
I think I know what you're talking about. That was
If you don't know it, you're on the perfect platform to look it up. If you're watching us right now, after this is done, obviously, comment, subscribe. Go Google Mentos ad. Mentos gummy ad or something. I googled it recently, but with the air conditioning on, I have to keep my top on. But a fact you wouldn't know about me is... you still got me. I think there's nothing I don't know.
Open book Chadryce.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not focusing now. This is really out of context because it's not focusing. That's the ad.
And it's a good one, isn't it? Oh my God. Show us again. I'm getting a little bit closer to the screen here. Nipple guy! Look at him!
What?
Oh my God!
Watch this guy. Watch him when he gets the frisbee. This is the best. DJ nipples at the end too.
Oh, he's having sunglasses on it. How good!
What a guy! Amazing. Here he is. Dip who? Look at this guy.
Oh my God!
Yes.
You can't show nipples on Twitch, can you?
I was gonna say,
is anybody else thirsty?
I have to blur this on YouTube now. What the heck?
It's on YouTube free. Yeah, so I would like some Mentos now. No, I don't know if you're allowed to show nipples on Twitch. I hope you are, because I do. Intentionally or not intentionally, but obviously it was your birthday. With us, I will ask the question and try and get consent.
Stream.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, the 24-hour stream, I did set up a pool inside my living room, like an inflatable pool. We didn't make it down there. I got too sidetracked by how great Gran Turismo 7 was, but I sort of thought the content would die out over 24 hours, but it didn't. So, unfortunately, I did have an indoor swimming pool for about 4 months before I put it away, which was pretty lazy of me, I will admit. But again, with the time that I have, I allot to things I like to do, and maybe cleaning gets a lot pushed away.
Mr. Chadryce for that.
Yeah, that's a hot scoop. Good. I live what looks like an app. No, it's not that bad. But yeah, the stream room's always clean, but when it comes to other areas, my dishes pile up quite easily and quickly. But yeah, it's one of those things.
Exclusive fact.
I live like a pig.
If that's the best we can find, it'll go in the clip.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just random one socks everywhere. I don't know where the other one is. Please ask no more about that. Thank you.
Oh wow, yeah, single socks around the house.
Sorry.
I wanted to talk a bit about, obviously, we're a very Gran Turismo focused platform. Gran Turismo 7 had the turbulent release that it did, and obviously there's people that love it, there's people that hate it. You see all the articles criticizing it, praising it. Correct. What are your personal opinions on Gran Turismo 7? What's your experience been like?
Oh yeah,
disappointing, and exciting and amazing and disappointing. What should have been and will be great, like Gran Turismo Sport. I remember the first day I got Gran Turismo Sport, day one. So excited, I can't wait. I slid it in my old PS4, loaded up, I'm thinking, here we go, we're on here, plugged in my G29, this is it, babies. Went straight to the Mazda dealership, and they had 0 rotaries, and I said, righto, this can go to the side. If you're a Japanese-based game and you don't have Mazda rotaries as an iconic sports car, sorry, disappointing. So I put it to the side, let it collect dust for a few years. Then I came back to it. And after that time, they'd obviously made the updates and the changes, and it became fantastic. I think Gran Turismo 7 now being reprogrammed, recoded, like it has been, has changed the dynamic so much from sport that we're expecting to come from sport being a sole, almost online-based experience with minimal campaign at the start. Obviously, they changed that. But now, Polyphony have sort of just changed their focus, like here, race with your friends, lobbies, online, this is what we want. And then Gran Turismo 7 comes out and it's like, here's a whole bunch of campaign, plus menus, plus this. And then the lobbies sort of got pushed to the wayside. And obviously, me being a content creator that focuses solely on that, it was extremely disappointing. Like, the lag was ridiculous. Not being able to change track conditions without having to start a whole new lobby. All these other parts was just something that took and has still taken quite a while to get used to. So I think Polyphony let down a lot of fans, and it's unfortunate to see them go because I do notice it in the lobbies. There's different names and there's non-returning names. But in saying that, it is a fantastic game, and I think it does get a too harsh a rap for what it does and what it can do. And I think, like the diversity of the lobbies that we run, we got Trans-Tasman chats with New Zealanders, South African, UK, Ireland, Scotland, Canada, America, Belgium, Finnish people. It's and to have all those people on one track and for it to be smooth and not have an issue is almost impossible. And I think since the last updates, it has become a lot better. And people will come back, whether it be they wait for it to go on sale. Who knows? It's much like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk really fudged its huggies at the start there and really came out, should be the best, and it was just a joke, which I'm not comparing Gran Turismo to Cyberpunk because Cyberpunk absolutely tanked even harder. But now the reinsurgence of Cyberpunk has been massive as well because of the updates. And I think Gran Turismo will have that as well. And I hope, because I've found so much joy in the Gran Turismo community, from the streamers to everything we have at our channel, and just the diversity of talent and everything has been amazing, and it will get back to where it was, if not even stronger, or definitely will be stronger because it made more new friends as it has been. So, yeah, Gran Turismo 7, it'll get there. Gran Turismo 7,
give it
one
time.
day. Yeah, it'll.
We had Matthew McEwen on not too long ago, and he actually mentioned just on his own thought process. He didn't get this information from anywhere, but based on what he knows about the game and the coding language and things like that, with it being future-proofed, he believes that we could see a Gran Turismo 8 within 3 years. So a quicker turnaround than from Sport to 7. What do you think of that? Would you want to see Gran Turismo 8 that soon, or would you want Gran Turismo 7 to have, a 5-year life cycle?
The benefit of going up a denomination is really redundant and irrelevant if the content's still good and they continue going on. The PlayStation 5 is a fantastic platform and it's a great machine to run the game the way it does. And even 4, I think that's the big cusp at the moment, and is what's really put the handbrake on Gran Turismo, is the cross-platform, the cross-generation, has really... I think that's what's been the problem, in all honesty, because but I think to have a title of like Gran Turismo 8 come out that soon, look, you could just keep on doing updates on Gran Turismo 7, I think. And the price of games these days, pump the brakes, is a bit of a money grab because they're super expensive. Like the games that continually come out each year, your sporting games, your F1s. Yeah. It's F1, like there's heaps. Yeah. So I think that's a bit cheap because the price of Gran Turismo, like the 25th anniversary, like we got here, was $155. Yeah. That's a lot of money for a game. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but going back 5 years ago, $155 would have got you like a Gran Turismo 7 wallet, keychain, model car, the hard copy, a collector's tin, a book. Now you get that. You know what I mean? Like, I get times are changing, but I think to have that extra digit on the end, I think it might turn people away slightly. But I would be all for it 100%. Let's just make Gran Turismo Rallycross. Let's just do that, but I think 7, within 3 years, it should be probably where it should be currently as we sit now, potentially. And then if they bring out Gran Turismo 8 and you have those teething issues again, that will be the nail in the coffin for a lot of people, I think. And then they'll sort of just go, righto, Polyphony, you haven't even fixed your original... I'm obviously talking, we've had, Gran Turismo 7 out for, 6-7 months now?
8 or 9 now.
Oh, is that? Wow, that long. Jeez.
Something like that.
Yeah, so... and we start, and I'm definitely noticing running lobbies, and I guess you guys have been noticing the rubber banding and lag is better, but we still have moments of absolute horror. But unless that gets ironed out very quickly, and we got 2 smooth years of running, I think a Gran Turismo 8 will be taken it'll be poorly received.
Yeah,
I think, but who knows?
I think you're right. I think people need time to forget the poor reception and the negative reviews of Gran Turismo 7 first. Because if they announce Gran Turismo 8 right now, everyone would be like, well, 7 sucked, so why would you bother?
And the other thing as well, the PlayStation 5 itself is 3 years old. You still can't just walk into a shop and buy it.
Well, that's right, yes.
That's the other thing. People are not going to be able to get their hands on the PlayStation. And it's ludicrously expensive. Like, I understand there's probably a lot going on, obviously. It's an expensive piece of machinery to make. but it's like, I mean, for us, for Australia, New Zealand, it's like $750. Like,
do we think we'll see a PlayStation 5 Lite or Slim or anything?
I know they're working on the like controller. They've got like DualSense Pro or something, but I don't know.
Yes, I've seen a
I
shot
don't
of that.
really know if we. I think the PS5's so optimized already, and like this is the point I was going to make about like it's kind of twofold as far as should we see a Gran Turismo 8. First of all, it's easy to forget that 7 has been their first like experience with cross-platform. You know, every other Gran Turismo prior has been on Gran Turismo 1 and 2 PS1, 3 and 4 PS2, 5 and 6 there's been no multi-generation play. 7 is the first one where you can do PS4 and PS5, but they can also mix and mingle. So like I on a PS5 can play with my friend on a PS4, that sort of thing. But that's all new territory for them. The other big thing too is that every Gran Turismo has sort of had a leap or a bound on, so Gran Turismo 1, second game basically tripled the car count, and then the third game was obviously the PS2 graphics leap, and then 4, but
how good was that though?
Sport and 7, there hasn't really been that much of a jump up as far as like technical prowess or
the car numbers were the same, and
obviously
were the same, and
obviously the coding was modernized, like we said with Mr. McEwen, that it's been future proofed, but like until you can basically touch the dashboard and feel the suede of the there's not really going to be a reason to make a whole new Gran Turismo. Like you said, just keep updating this one until we have another monumental leap in graphics or in visual, which is getting harder and harder to do.
I think sound engine will be the next big leap for Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
So I would like to see. Sound engine would be fantastic. The weather changes they made has been monumental.
That was very
that's
good.
what I was going to say. Yeah.
So amazing.
Point. The key selling point of this one was
it's just a shame they don't use it as very often.
No, and I try and push, when I start a lobby and someone picks a track that I know has different weather conditions, I sort of prompt them like, do you want to change the time of day or do you want to change the weather? Because that dynamic and that shift, especially over a longer race with the stagnant water and all this stuff on the apexes, it just broadens up and it makes it more like the real driving simulator opposed to as arcadey, I think, as what it was in sport. Not throwing shade, but when it definitely came to weather dynamics, that was laughable on sport. It was like ice. At least you have different parts now where there's grip points, dry lines forming, stagnant water, all that sort of stuff. So that's really great. But I think the one that I would love to see would be a better crash physics. I think Gran Turismo's crash physics are laughable at best. And I think that's why it gets a pretty bad rap, because you can make a contact to be careless or, do a re-entry like Bathurst this year and there's no consequences. You just... and then someone types in chat, what are you doing, dude? Whereas if there's consequences for your actions where your car gets taken out or something like that, it'll sharpen up the driving a little bit more like ACC and stuff like that. And plus it would look better because, you hit a wall and your car looks brand new with a scratch and a cracked headlight. I think they could really work on that. And whether it be on and off, where it just has, like you have to go into the pits like iRacing or anything like that, and there's a time to repair. I think that would really elevate it being the real driving simulator.
Have you ever considered running heavy damage for your lobbies?
Yeah.
I have considered it, and the problem is sometimes with Gran Turismo's penalty system and that sort of system, I think it's very too much of a miss. And you can have things happen, like penalties sometimes, I will argue they're rigged and I didn't drop 2 wheels. I'm almost sure of it. And I think every Gran Turismo player will say the exact same thing. But when it comes to the wall contact and all that sort of stuff, to slow you down, it's kind of still pretty redundant because it'll ruin your race, but it won't, you won't black flag. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be like, okay, I got a 10-second penalty. Gran Turismo! But if you smash your front wheel off, See you later. You know what I mean?
Sort of thing,
It's the consequences still, and it sort of takes away from it a bit because the fact you crash and it causes damage, your tire starts to scrub or something like that. That to me just embodies the sim part of it, and you become more in depth and in tune with the car, and it becomes a more all-round experience opposed to just being like bang, you sort of pinball off 15 seconds. You know what I mean? I have tried it, and unfortunately it doesn't work. As much as I'd love it to, it's like wall contact. As much as you want to, you can understeer into a wall and then you get a penalty, but it's like, well, I wasn't wall riding, so it doesn't work as much as you like. It's like the PP or the performance points, power points. I don't know the actual thing. I think it's performance, isn't it?
Yeah,
performance,
I just like saying PP. But that,
I think most of us do.
Correct, yes. Yeah, it's one of my favourite, there's a lot of my favourite words, but that's top 10 at least. But I think, and I still giggle when I say, everybody, 600 PPs, please. Oh, my God. But
that's a lot of PP.
That's a lot. But I think, that system, in theory, again on paper, worked fantastically. But then when it came down to it, I know with like my modified midweek series, we run to a horsepower and weight range and tyres, not to a PP range anymore, because there's slight hacks you can do to get around it and changes. There's some
one
areas
car being the best. Yeah,
correct.
That one guy that rocks up with a tomahawk that's like 200 pp, and it's like, well, that's clearly not legal. But
yes, exactly right. And there's always you can search anytime on YouTube, and after anything, there's always that get money quick glitch with the PP, those points, and it's a great baseline to sort of judge. But I've definitely found that they sort of missed the mark in some of those areas, and to revisit, I think penalties. Wall contacts, heavy contacts, and the PowerPoint range, and sharpen it a little bit, because the concept is fantastic. It's just missing the mark slightly.
Car damage in general. I mean, I remember seeing because obviously Gran Turismo's never done damage. It's been virtually non-existent. There was a quote about Gran Turismo's always been about simulating a racing car, not a crashing car. Which, obviously, Gran Turismo 5, I think had probably the best damage. I remember like some parts could come off and you could lose.
Yeah, you could lose doors and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember losing doors on Glenn Seaton's AU Falcon, the Ford Credit Falcon.
I think
you
it was
could
like
lose
the rally
that
cars
bonnets.
too. The rally cars were pretty easy to, because one of the trophies was literally to have bits come off. And so, because I remember,
I'll take off
my bits.
no, because it was like on GT Planet, there was like the easiest way to have a bit come off your car is to pick one of the rally cars, go to this track, and basically roll it, and eventually a door will come off, or the bumper or whatever. So they have done cosmetic damage, but it's just And
I know they're the racing simulator, but not the crashing simulator. But some people would argue. Now you judge this for yourself. Some people would argue that crashing is the best part of motorsport. I'm not saying me.
As a spectator, it's pretty good. If no one's hurt, obviously. But if you're a driver, that shit sucks. That is the worst.
And if you're a team owner, then it's expensive. But anyway.
True.
But I suppose the other side of it too is that like automotive manufacturers don't like watching their own cars get smashed up.
True.
Ferrari comes to mind.
Ferrari.
Here's the brand new 2022 Mazda Roadster, and then some guy just goes and plows it into the wall at 150. It's like,
I get it, but it's also as a byproduct is accidents and crashing and bending. That's motorsport. That's just the nature of the beast, and you can try and keep it, clean, and your Ferrari's looking like they've just rolled off the showroom floor, but that's just not the world, is it? And I think
you're not going to see supercars like, hey, here's the new Gen 3 car. Hey, please don't crash it for the next 4 races. Okay, thanks.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, we want it to look really nice. So it's and I don't think it should be something that should be focused like a wreck fest. But I think it's something that should be embraced, being that racing happens, racing incidents happen. accidents happen, and it's just. But I understand it, and it'd be a lot to code, and figure out, because obviously if they're scanning a car for its shape, etc., and then they have to preempt what would look like bent and crushed,
where does the bonnet secure? Yeah.
It would become a massive undertaking to do so. And again, back to the number of cars you said, Mr. Adam, is that we came over with the 420, I believe. For some reason, that number's ringing a bell.
420, well, that would ring a bell anyway, I think. But
correct, yes, but that's for the memes. But other than that, I think for some reason,
just over 400,
something every day, but yeah, so with those cars that are continually coming out, like the 4 we've just had, or 3 plus 1 that's just a slight modification to another, it's to figure out the crash dynamics and to graphically do that would probably be a bit much, and that's why they haven't done it. To keep the game evolving and growing in the speed that it is, I think it would really pump the brakes on that. So that's probably their main reasoning behind it. And yeah, as you said, Ferrari didn't really want to see stuff bent. Which is
for a second there, I couldn't tell which car you were talking about from the update, being a slight modification of another one, because we got the Mazda, which is just an MX-5 with a roll cage.
We got 2 slight
also
modifications.
The GDR, which is just the same car, but 5 years later, Nismonath will have something to say about that.
That 2018 Nissan is great. I'm very happy with that, because even if it is the same car, which obviously Nissan will try to tell you, it's faster and lower and more aero, whatever.
I think it has less power from Brand Central.
It does, yes.
Well,
it does, yes.
The thing about it is, it's set up, but the 2013 GTR, op obviously doesn't come into this because it's the setup of the car. It's got too much rear downforce, and it's got so much rear downforce that it understeers, and that's its problem. It's a monster in a straight line, but it understeers. So this one, and I've done a bit of testing, but obviously we won't know for certain until we have an actual competition round to prep for. Seems to have mostly amended that, and that's why I'm pretty excited to give it a crack. It's going to be
Tell me you're a Nissan fan without telling me you're a Nissan fan.
I mean, it's
you know what, Adam?
Don't you like Holdens, Nath?
I do. I
no, you're not HC, Nath. Damn it. Well, so can't you?
We had an HSV Maloo on the lot the other day, and I was. It was spicy. 85,000.
Expensive.
It was good though. It was so nice.
From a beautiful state that I'm saying. No, Adam should have. Yeah.
I would have loved to, but I don't have 85,000 liquid in my pocket.
I put a picture in the Sector 1 chat because the car yard that I used to work at, they chrome wrapped a Skyline, like a 350 GT Skyline. I put the picture up, and someone was straight away. There was a car in the background. He's like, "Why is that VT like 20 grand?" I was like, "I didn't even know."
New Zealand car prices, bro. Well, speaking of real life rides, you're a bit of a real life car nut yourself, Chad.
Yes, I don't mind.
So you're a big Rotary fan, aren't you?
Yes, to a fault, unfortunately, because they're expensive and they're stupid and they break. But I love them. Yeah, I love my Rotors. Yeah.
Do you own one?
I do own one. Yes. What
do you own?
A Mazda. So it's a 1980 Mazda 323. His name is Malcolm. He is beautiful, and he has a 13B in there, which has done 40 kilometers since rebuild. That's a 13B Bridgeport with a 48mm Weber on the side of it.
There's the fact we didn't know about Chad. Why couldn't you bring this up earlier?
You've said that on stream, haven't you?
Yeah, I love my Rotors.
Yeah. I know you talk bad about that a bit, but it was funny because you're a Rotor guy, and Smock actually. I don't know if you know that Smock has a car spots page on Instagram where he goes around town.
Thanks for shouting that out, Adam. Thank you.
He goes around and anything he sees that's kind of unique on the roads. Take a few photos, and then he writes up a huge blurb on the cars that I honestly believe is one of the most informative. I've read through some of them, and they're just some of the most informative pieces of information about cars. And I think that there's possibly some information in some of them that you wouldn't necessarily find in a lot of other places. And he did an RX-7 recently, didn't you, Smoke?
Oh wow, jeez!
I did. Yeah, that's this one here.
Yeah, it was an older RX-7, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like a Series 1.
1 or 2, yeah.
I think it was a 1, but look at those bumpers. Series Deuce. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Can't
so
wait.
all the information on all the rotaries in that blurb there, and I read through that. It was heaps fun to read through.
Oh. Yeah, no, it is a two.
Focus?
Yeah, focus. It's
Will
a
it
beautiful car,
focus?
though. Is that the standard brown?
Will it focus?
Two-tone brown? Looks like two-tone brown.
Oh,
There we
there
go.
it is.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, baby. Pop,
There's the
headlights.
Instagram handle. There's the Instagram handle.
There it is.
Smoke
Yeah.
spots.
.car.spots. Please, everybody, follow that. Also, while you're there, Twitch Chadryce.
It'll be on the screen. Don't you worry, it'll be on the screen.
Yeah, no, the Smokes Car Spots page is really cool. It's I think it's a very mature themed page for sort of
is.
like the older car enthusiast who wants to understand heritage and things like that of cars. A lot of old school stuff on there, and but yeah, if you're into that, Chad, then there you go. There's something for you to browse on your breaks at work.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah.
A lot better than like a car spot page. Oh my gosh, here's a Bugatti, and it's like a picture that's pretty much been ripped off like Google. Like, look at this scenario.
Well, it's because there's like when I started that page, like I all of a sudden found all of these different accounts that pretty much do like spot the same cars around my area, but it's always supercars or like luxury cars. It's never like the old stuff, and I love the old stuff in terms of cars, and it's just no one else was doing it. Like no one else would go, oh my god, there's a Volkswagen Type 2 bus parked on the side of the road. Let's take some photos of that and then write up all the history of it. Like, I don't know, I just get really into it. I love it.
You're like an automotive journalist that just doesn't get loaned any cars. You just have to find them in the street and then write about them.
honestly, right.
It's a real hustle.
Around where I live, I'm not one of them, but my suburb I live in is quite an affluent suburb, and there's a park, and at the weekends, it's always, like, packed with families, and all these families are all rich, they have their cars. I'm there, I'm, like, getting the perfect angle of a Mercedes SUV, and I'm waiting for someone to be like, why are you taking a photo of that? But it's like, I'm interested in that, I love that.
Has that ever happened to you, Smoke? Like, have you ever...
it has. I've had a couple of people... One woman thought I was taking photos to impound her car, and I just said, I'm a car spotter, and she was like, oh, okay, and I was like, can I get one more photo before I go? And she's like, yeah.
Were you shadowed like you are now? Because if you were out looking like you are right now, yes, potential for car theft and
father.
I had a big hood on like Darth Sidious. Maybe that's
King
why they
Kong
get sus. Whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Smock's into the older cars, and what was your dream car, Smock?
A DeLorean.
DMC DeLorean. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
One day.
Do you have a dream
day.
car, Chad, or do you own your dream car?
No, I definitely don't own it. Now this is. Don't get me wrong. I love my Rotor. I'm so thankful to have that vehicle, and I've also got my beautiful van, and I've also got another Mazda Ute. But here's a bit of a scoop. My ultimate dream car is probably one of the most ugliest vehicles ever created.
Maybe I'll like it.
And it's a Lincoln.
Oh, come on now.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
A Lincoln.
Yeah,
What
like.
year?
The old ones, you want to see a little model like a Mark V? Big barges. I love a big, useless 7 million litre bucket of snot where you turn a corner and the body roll is in a different postcode and it's just a lofty thing. I just love the stigma and everything around those vehicles. I think they're so outlandish and out of control. It's something of beauty, and in such a weird way. It's like pugs. They're pretty ugly, but they're beautiful in their own ugly way. You know what I mean? Like I sort of like the fact that it's not your norm. But I think if I was to have an ultimate car, it'd be something like that, or just a trick lowrider, just big American barge. I love it.
Would you put the stupid pneumatic suspension on it that makes it go like this and bounce up and down?
I tell you what.
You just see Chadryce at the fuel station, right? He empties the entire fuel station and then he only just makes it home.
So yeah, no, I think. But then in saying that, back to fanboying about JDM FDR Ep.7 Spirit R ultimate car.
Can't argue with that.
It is arguably one of the most sexiest designs for a vehicle that started in the 90s. It's still holding suit in regards to being absolutely stunning as a sports coupe. So I'd have to say Spirit R.
Great car.
Yeah.
Spirit R RX-8 goes pretty hard as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
we had one of those in our workshop a few months ago, and it was. They are.
I love the RX-8, and I'm glad they did it. But the one thing I still can't stand, these popping down headlights. Like, it's just that's, you know, and obviously for, you know, safety reasons, they had to take away the popping down headlights, because if you get hit by them, it's going to make a difference. But I think, you know, that end of an era in regards to the RX-7s, the RX-8 sort of semi-flopped in that respect, I think. But beautiful vehicle, and I love them. I love them, though.
I do love an RX-8.
It's got a rider. That's all.
Thanks to it being a bit cheaper than the RX-7, I'd actually be potentially able to own one day. But
just make sure you don't get it around 160,000 kilometers.
100,000 Ks is like the sort of stay away. So
yep, they will die. And that's the thing. So
new engine, Margaret, do it.
Well, that's when you put an old 13B in it, like a proper one, not the 6 ports.
Yeah, just put a piston engine in it, mate.
All right.
Well, the thing is,
can anybody kick him out? Can anybody please kick him out? Thank you.
I didn't catch how offensive that was for a second there. That's disgraceful.
Why don't you just say put an LS in it, and then you'll completely with a great motor though, but wrong car. But yeah, look, I'll be here when you're ready to apologise.
No, the final generation of the RX-8 actually they pretty much resolved every issue that the Rotary has with reliability. Like, they finally completed their R&D and they had it on lock, and then they made like not that many of them, and then they never made one again. And it's just like, bro, you just got it. You had it.
Be made again. Yeah,
you know.
I still remember seeing the like the RX Vision concept when that was first.
Yeah. They called it the RX-9. They called it the RX-9.
And
in fact, hang on a minute, I'll be back. You keep talking.
In a memento, we'll wait here.
Seeing that for the first time, and I was like, yes, please. They basically climaxed the Rotary engine, even just an engine as a whole. Yeah. And then they were like, we're not going to make them anymore. So
what year was that? What year did they show that concept?
2015. I think images. I think images started to get leaked. I think images started to get leaked in like 2014. But 2015.
Here we go.
It was
This is going to get you guys a little bit. Okay, so
is this your journal?
May not know.
Dear journal.
Is this his diary?
I work for Mazda. I'm a
Nismo
technician for Mazda.
He stole something.
So no, I didn't steal anything. So they send us to training in Auckland.
Yes.
I get flown up there. Nismonath actually experienced this recently. I was up there, and I said hello to him while I was there. But when you go to training, you get given a whole bunch of Mazda stuff as an employee. You know, part of it's as a reward, part of it's for the training. This is the notebook that we get given to write our notes in. Yeah. Look what car's on it.
That's cool.
This is Mazda's official notebook that they give to the staff when they come for training.
One of those, please.
Yeah, I've got two of them.
I was going to say, there's Chad's birthday. When's your birthday, Chad?
You should sign one. You should sign one and send it.
Yes. No way, that's wicked.
Cool. No notes in it. Yeah, I haven't made a single note in it.
Oh, you should like give that away or something. Sign it and do a giveaway.
What do I need to do? I will do dirty things. I will do very questionable things. Dignity never heard of her, so I'll take that. Jealous much. The Rotary watch. They did a Rotary watch too.
Yeah, they did. They did an iLab watch as well. But so they do have it still as part of their advertising stuff. So you know.
Well, there's still
RX-9, or is it just RX Vision?
This doesn't say anything on it for the model. It's just the imagery.
Well, there is rumors.
You know.
Yeah, well, if you play Gran Turismo, you know this shape, right? But there is rumors of the Rotary making a revival as a generator, though.
Hybrid. Yep. Hybrid.
Which one of the most clickbaity things I've ever clicked on in my life, and I've clicked on some very questionable things, like that prince that still owes me money. He's got heaps of gold bullion. I haven't got it yet.
There's no sexy singles in your area. I'm sorry, mate. You're the sexy single.
I got him.
Thank you. Hello. Yeah,
I have been looking single though.
Yes, I am. Please, who would like no? Yeah, definitely single as they come. But that's because again, I've got too many great friends on the internet that make me feel things that I can feel in a relationship. But back to Rotaries, that RX Vision with the generator motor, and they're like, the Rotary's coming back. And I thought to myself, here we go, it's happening. Whenever it was, like 2020, I guess. Then it's like, it's going to be a generator. Frog, get out of here. I want nothing to do with this.
They can't do it. It's not fuel efficient enough. Too many emissions.
My Rotary runs on 2-stroke, obviously, so I've got a wet sump, so I still use the old style of the OMP pump to push it up into the rotor housings and use its own dirty oil to lubricate itself. But also I do put premix in it. And the last time I took my car for a drive, after tune, I went through 32 litres per 100.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
it was useless. It was a full tank.
You can't see, but my mouth is agape right now.
And there's a reason why that car doesn't get driven much, because it will send me broke.
God.
Yeah, and you have to service them on time as well, those rotaries, which a lot of people didn't realise, because by default they burn oil because they drop oil into the combustion chamber to lubricate the moving parts in there and naturally burn it, because that's where explosions are happening.
Yep, it eats its own good. And that's exactly what it does. And if you run it dry, you run it dirty, and it's putting dirty, cruddy sludge into your rotor housings where there's so much compression and everything happening, numerous thousands upon thousands of times a revolution, or 3 times revolution essentially. They kill themselves and they get a bad rap. If a Rotary, now here's me being the rotor guy standing up fighting for what's right, but if they looked after, they can be a very good motor.
It's so true.
Warm-ups, cooling down.
It's so true.
But if you mistreat it, it will mistreat you.
See, that's the thing.
It's one of those temperamental motors. Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like, the true enthusiasts, if they were to ever get their hands on something that is widely considered to be like unreliable, difficult to look after, you'll find someone that cares about it so much, they'll do everything perfectly to make sure that motor or car or whatever runs as perfectly as it can for maximum amount of time. That's right. You seem like one of those guys with the Rotary.
I do pride myself on it. I love it.
Yeah.
And plus, when one breaks, they cost a fortune. So, but I love everything about the motor, and that it's so, again, unconventional. It's a motor that should never have been. It's a motor that should have died out a long time ago, and Matsuda, to their credit, stuck with it and did a fantastic job to keep an iconic motor. Chev couldn't keep it going. Mercedes couldn't do it. BSA couldn't do it. Suzuki couldn't do it. Mazda, small motor company, the happy car company as they call themselves, absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I think my affiliation for the brand, and I will always be a Mazda guy, is because the fact that they just stuck with something that really was the underdog. It's like the little underdog motor that's always been a bit of a joke because it's under 2 litres, but it'll smoke your LS like you wouldn't believe. You know what I mean? Like there's such
It was the perfect motorsport
engine pack. This big,
you watch people like Mad Mike. You watch people like Mad Mike chuck 1,200 horsepower out of it and throw it sideways. Yeah.
That dude.
Guys, I just heard a boing from Chad's mic. Did anyone else hear that?
That was me. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lucky I'm not wearing pants.
What's the noise like? I've never heard of Rotary in real life.
Wow!
Yeah, there it is.
Oh man!
I've only heard
Chad's about
it through video
That's
games.
the scoop. Everybody, forget me. Let's go. Really? Oh my god!
Never in real life have I heard of Rotary.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do the videos on YouTube and
no, it doesn't do it justice. No,
it doesn't.
A lumpy. If you want to hear a nice, beautiful Rotary. I do have a video of mine on my Discord that's idling, but it's like writing a thesis on chocolate. I can tell you how good it sounds and how good chocolate tastes, but until you do it yourself and hear it, you'll never quite understand. There is something so
you did that,
embodying and beautiful. It's a sound that can't be replicated.
When you did the cart spot of the RX-7 smoke, you should have just waited for whoever owned it to come back. Hey mate, can you fire it up, please?
Well, yeah.
It was at a car yard.
Oh.
It was at a car yard.
Then you should have the keys. On the test drive.
It was on a Sunday. It was on a Sunday and they were shut.
Yeah. They'd be like, please, give me one testicle and I might let you open the door, let alone take it for a drive.
I frequent car shows around where I live, so it's just a matter of time, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that famous onboard video of the Le Mans lap and the 787B.
Oh, yes.
Even that, just the video. Oh.
Yeah, they are
so
delicious.
There's a very, very noticeable rotary sound from anyone who's modified one. I think yours would do this, wouldn't it, Chad? It has the brup, 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 brup repetitively when it's particularly when it's idling.
Yeah. It's almost like once you get it to a right. Well, especially I know in New Zealand, you guys run your idles higher than we do in Australia. So in Australia, we really. So the gentleman that built my motor was from New Zealand. New Zealand is infamous with rotary culture. They continue those cars going unbelievably.
Mad Mike pioneered it over here.
Correct.
Because Mad Mike,
The Rotan clan over there is huge. It is unbelievable. And yeah, I had him tune it, and he tuned it, and it was exactly that. It was like a metronome, like but consistent. And I sort of said to him, like, dude, no, I need it lumpier, and I've sort of got that very laboured it sort of lumps over, and sort of almost like a V8, sort of a lump.
It sounds like a really heavy engine, but it's actually not.
Yeah,
tiny.
It's something else. Yeah, you need to come over to New Zealand for
I'm playing on it.
a car show or something to see all the RX-7s. Both of you, particularly you, Smok, because you obviously don't have a huge experience with them.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw about on the topic of Mad Mike, but the guy who built his first ever professional motor, his first competition pro motor, he's actually
Nate's got the scoop on Mad Mike stuff, by the way. He's super in on New Zealand motorsport stuff.
Well, this one I just follow his Instagram. But,
have you kissed him?
I've met Mike.
Have you tried to kiss him?
Oh, but Nate took me to Mad Mike's little car museum.
I took him to his workshop at Hampton Downs. Yeah,
we met his wife, didn't we?
Yeah, his wife was there because he was in Japan doing the drifting. Was it D1 GP or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and because Hampton Downs. And then you've got his workshop, and he just parks his cars out there, and you can.
Yeah, he does.
Lambo,
and there's a little showroom with his old cars.
RX3, yeah. But the guy who built his first pro motor, he's now got him on board. He works for Mike now. He's building his. It's come full circle for him.
Wow. Yeah, that's
he's on board as this chief engineer kind of thing.
Yeah. So definitely, if you ever come to New Zealand,
100%. I've been meaning to go for years. I think it's now. There's a Rotary reunion and a Rotary revival. I think revival's in New South Wales. Reunion, I think's in NZ. I get them mixed up because they're so similar. But
the other one you want to do is Mad Mike's Summer Bash.
Yes, do Summer Bash.
Yeah.
That's his event. And the Mad Mike stuff is going to continue forever because his son Link is now getting into his own drifting. He's got his MX-5 with a rotor in it, and he will probably continue to do that for most of his life.
Yeah.
Well, I know he had that wicked little trophy truck. His son did. Mad Mike had his.
Yeah.
I think his. He was a 12A trophy truck. I think it was. I don't know if it's 12A. But yeah, they had that little one. That's sick.
They built him an MX-5, and it had I think it was 200 horse or something.
This is the young fella.
Yeah,
this is the young fella. This is his first drift car, basically.
Yeah, it was his first thing. Had 200 horse. Now it's got 500 horse, and now they're saying he's already out. They're already saying he's outgrown it, and it's what can we do now? It's far out, man. The kid's a talent.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's growing up around drifting and motorsports of all sorts.
Yeah.
He's one for the future, big time. He's now.
How old is he?
He must be 15 or 16.
16.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got his own drift car and stuff. Look it up, man. Look it up. He's got his own logo. The coolest thing about Lincoln Wadet is that his logo is an LW, and it is literally Mad Mike's logo inverted.
Yeah, sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool, man.
I just remember too, Atom. When we visited, that was when Mike had broken his arm.
That's right. Yeah.
Broken his sholdder or something.
He was doing motocross or something, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, he'd basically come off and broken a bone of some kind, and his wife was telling us, she was like, I know he's going to do this to himself because it's just what he's like. He's just that kind of go-getter, hungry guy all the time.
Yeah,
he's gnarly. He's a fantastic advocate.
Most of his cars go out on display at the Mad Mike Summer Bash, and I think his Drift Taxi, which is a rotary powered like what is it like? It's not like a
it's like a crowd, like a town car or something.
yeah.
Luxurious.
It's an old taxi car from Japan in the 90s, but it's got a rotary in it, and it's got 3 passenger
Is
seats.
it a Laurel?
That one.
Is it what?
Oh,
I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
It looks like it looks like a Cresta, a Toyota Cresta, or a Nissan Laurel or something.
yeah.
But it's a rotary powered drift car. He drives it. 3 passengers jump in. Like, you guys could jump in and go for a blast around the track on the back seat.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
That's the
so
coolest
cool.
thing. And that was him just being like, I want to share the joy of drifting with as many people as possible, because not everyone can drift a car. You know, not everyone has the opportunity, the money, you know, but, you know, you can just go jump in a drift car and go for a ride now. Like,
You just
that
get
might
thrown
be one of a
around in your
kind.
seat rather than
And not only like most drift cars, like there might be experiences out there where you can take 1 passenger, but to have 3 passengers, like you and 2 of your mates in a drift car together, like, oh, that'd be so cool, man.
Yeah.
So,
it's gonna happen one day.
Mad
It's
Mike
gotta
Summer
happen.
Bash. Google it, find out when it is, and
I
get over to
have
New
watched the
Zealand for
videos
it.
on it, actually, and I've been meaning to for either that or Rotary Revival or Reunion, because it has the most rotaries on track in the world. So yeah, there's some great things, and plus I just want to go to NZ to not only meet beautiful people like you, but it's just a stunning place. Everything I've heard or everything I've ever seen about New Zealand, and also I want to meet the Lord of the Rings crews. I've got some things I'd like to do to some of them, so we'll go out to the middle of. What's the one that's my precious?
That's sus.
Yes,
Gollum,
yes, it is. Thank you very much, Gollum, whatever his name is. That fella. Schmeagol. That's even more fun to say than Gollum. Gollum's from the other one, isn't it?
Yeah. No, they're both the same person. Yeah, or
They
in the
are.
same body.
There's
Two personalities. Yeah.
You've got all these. You've got no rotors heard by Smock. We've got the exclusive of they're both the same. It's all Schmeagol and Gollum, one in the same. There you go.
Yeah. What's going on? No, I've run out of prompts. The only prompt I have left is would you, Chad, like we actually touched on this, was about how you're very focused on the Twitch chat when you're streaming and things like that, and you're community focused. Would you ever consider, you know, getting serious for a race? Like, is there a particular race that you'd get serious for, or you're not bothered? You know?
Nah. Look, I'm still a racer at heart. You know, I've grown up racing go-karts, motocross, all that sort of stuff. So I still have that in me. I think I've just realized the focus is not all about winning or losing. Some of the biggest wins don't happen on a track. And I've been extremely lucky in what I've managed to achieve and what we've all managed to achieve. I think the competitive spirit is still in there, but there's always going to be another race, especially when it comes to sim racing. There's always going to be another time. And yes, sometimes you sort of just have to pump the brakes, have a moderate, you know, mildly disappointed quit. I wouldn't say rage, but yeah, there is. But now, if we're talking about something that's spicing, that really sort of gets like a little bit of the boing happening, rallycross. I get so hyper focused on rallycross. It's probably the only event where I still look at chat, but I don't look at it as intensely. I sort of glance at it a little bit more because I'm just having an absolute blast from trying to do 360 entries and just sliding around and being a menace. Gran Turismo 7 Rallycross, my favourite. But yeah, of course I still want to win because I get to have a beer if I get on a podium, and it's a great feeling. And the other thing is that the caliber of races, you know, if I win in one of my lobbies or get a placing, that's unbelievable because we've got like Adam, Nizzy, we've got, you know, Tez, who's dominant, Cron, who's just crushing at the moment.
Yeah, there's some quick guys that turn up, man.
Yeah, Conks, ASR Conker, when he can get in, but unfortunately he can't at the moment. But, you know, and then other lesser-known drivers, like there's another fella, Mr. Ruckus, who comes through and races, and he absolutely slays. Ice Taylor from the UK. Power memes. What more can I say about that guy?
Dude,
man.
You know what I mean? Like,
how many name drops?
Yeah, I can keep going. And the evolution of the drivers that I've seen from when I first started, from people just sort of sliding through and sort of kicking around and doing mid-pack, I've been left behind, and they've just absolutely excelled, and it's been so beautiful to see the evolution of other people driving. it's not about me. It's not about my driving. I'm happy to just put it on the event and put on the streams and do that. But it's just, and the racing now is so close and amazing and quick. It's hard to be competitive because they're so good. So I think if I let myself get hurt by 100%. Not winning, I would never have a smile on my face because they are just exceptional. And I bow down to a lot of these dudes. Mr. McEwen, obviously. What can you say? It's hard to be competitive with the caliber of drivers that Gran Turismo has really sort of grown and nourished and made into these exceptional sim races we have now. It's unbelievable. So I would get too in my own head and be like, well, dude, you're not doing very good. Nah. So they're still competitive, of course. But hey. The real competition, man, is just being happy and smiling and having a good time, I think. And as I said, there's always going to be another race. So if you get knocked or pushed around, but racing happens. And I think, admittedly, sometimes sim racers forget that racing incidents just happen.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I forget it too. But you just need to pump the brakes and just enjoy it. Enjoy a good battle, even if you're 15th and 16th. If you're close and you're having fun and you're smiling and cutting and undercutting and over, wicked. There's always a bit of competitive, but I just don't get butt hurt anymore.
Yeah, would never. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, before I pass the mic back to Smock, because it sounded like you were ready to say something before, I've thought of another one. Just as a last kind of like fun question topic. And this is for everyone, so Nismo and Smock as well.
Okay.
Little bit of a like not trivia, but just kind of a fun question. Who is your favorite character from the Disney Pixar Cars universe? I'll go first. Right, I'll go first. I have two favorites, so it's kind of hard for me to narrow it down. But if I had to put one first, I would say Guido, the little pit stop guy. Pit stop. Yeah. My second would be the King or Strip Weathers, because I just think he's the coolest looking dude in the whole show, the whole series. But yeah, I'd put Guido at my number one. So what about you, Smock? You got one?
I'm trying to think. I've actually never thought about this before. I don't know. There's like a couple of characters that are just like.
Are there any real old school ones that you'd get on?
You know what? Whenever there's a scene with Lizzie in it, I know it's going to be funny. So that's like the old Ford Model T, the old lady.
Yeah, the old lady. Oh, she is quite funny.
I don't know if she's my favourite, but because she doesn't appear that often, so whenever there's a scene, she's always doing something silly or saying something ridiculous, or no one knows what she's talking about. It's just funny in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Nismo?
I don't know. I really like Mater. Like I've always
Mater.
I've always been a Larry the Cable Guy fan. Like I love his comedy. I love his mannerisms. It's I don't know. I didn't like Cars 2, but yeah, I do
what?
quite like.
You can't like Mater and not like Cars 2. That's so backwards, bro.
Cars 3 is what Cars 2 should have been. Like it's why they have to go away from the racing and do the whole spy espionage thing. But no, anyway, that's my.
I liked it.
Oh, I liked it, but it's just they tried to paint it up like a Cars movie. It should have been like a. I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
I didn't think the racing in Cars 2 was pretty cool, but there wasn't enough focus on it. What about you, Chad? Yeah. Do you have a number one car from the Cars universe?
I have a confession.
You like Sally Carrera?
Here we go.
Here's a scoop. Here's the hot scoop. I have never watched one. I would not know any of those references you just said.
Tuesday, Monday, get on it.
I have never watched
have to do a watch along.
I've been told off about this before.
I'll join. You don't even know the Delinquent Road Hazards.
They're good too. I like Delinquency. They're fun. I'm considered a road hazard, so thank you. I like those ones, but no, I know there's the truck with the teeth, and there's
that's Mater.
There's Lightning McQueen. I know that because you can't find a livery on Gran Turismo without a Lightning McQueen, a car without a Lightning McQueen version. So that I know that one. But other than that,
you have to watch Cars. You have to watch it. It's a kids' movie, but it's like all of our childhood.
Sub it in for Movie Monday.
Yeah, actually. Just do that. Just do a watch along. Bring the
Watch
popcorn.
along cars.
Bit of Discord. Yeah.
I'll
It's
come and watch that. Hell yeah.
I'd tune into that. Hell yeah. I mean,
100%.
I tune in most of the time, but I'd be so in on that, man. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
What the hell were you watching in 2006?
Yeah.
Good question. I don't have a clue.
Fast and the Furious, probably.
It's probably not appropriate for this beautiful podcast. But it involved two somethings and one no. I don't know.
And on that bombshell,
That's a clip. In the mid-2000s, Chad took up his time with what?
the human something Pete as well. That was a good one. I don't know what I was doing. Probably running around in circles.
I'd give you a cop out and just name a rotary car in cars that you like, but there isn't one, is there? Do you guys know if there's a rotary powered car in the Cars universe?
I will not watch it if there isn't.
I don't even.
There is one. There is one. You gotta watch it to know, though.
You can't tell me that none of the delinquent road hazards are not rotaries. Like, surely at least one of them is.
That don't make no sense.
Because the whole thing is that, like,
Boost has got that really long look,
franchise,
like
they never really
Silvio,
go into detail about what sort of engines they've got. They're just kind of
they
like.
don't.
There's honestly, if you go looking, there's so much Cars lore, bro. Like, there's a YouTube channel dedicated to the history and background of every single Piston Cup competitor that made an appearance, even if it was for a second in the movies.
What?
Yeah.
So do they like make it up or?
No, I think
Probably.
it's legit. Like there's even like spin-off videos that are made by Pixar. There's spin-off videos on YouTube made by Pixar that they're like car profiles on certain cars. Like there's one on Doc Hudson, there's one on the King, there's one on McQueen. There's a few, and they reuse footage from the film, but they treat it like a sports broadcast. It's like a 2-minute video. Yeah. It's really cool, man. And they list like the number of Piston Cups won and stuff like that.
I'm gonna have to go and have a look at that.
Yeah, you can dive deep into it, man. It's out there. Yeah, big
sounds
time.
Like you've been head first into it. You're pretty deep into the car reverse by the sounds of that, Mr. Adam.
They pop up on TikTok, and like they're like my top 20 cars from the Cars universe, and they had like some stats in them, like McQueen won 7 Piston Cups or something, and I was like, hang on a minute, how do you know that? Like, where'd you pull that information from? That can't be true. And then I went out and looked it up, and it all exists. It's out there. So, like...
The fact that Lightning McQueen's name isn't actually Lightning.
Yeah! Oh, I found out that his name wasn't Lightning! His first name's Montgomery! I found that out completely by accident. It was amazing. I had to put it straight in the Discord. It was great.
Here's I saw just today actually on TikTok. I saw it was the scene of the. Whoa, you good, Chad?
No, I'm just getting attacked. Sorry, I was playing with the doll and
what? That's out of context, Chadryce.
I was just taking off these. I was playing with the Velcro on the pants on me doll here, and my dog decided that.
What's that prop used for? I want to know.
Why are you taking the clothes off it, huh?
Well, I want to find out where babies come from. So, this is actually coincidentally Cron, one of our moderators, Chronic OD, a fantastic friend, a really lovely man. And there's a photo. If you ever come onto our stream, ask me about it or remind me, and I'll show you. I have a comparative one next to each other, and he looks carbon copy of this, and he showed it to me one day, and I was like, I've got to buy it. So I spent hours upon hours finding this doll. Little known fact about dolls, like Barbies, don't suck on their heads. I put it in my mouth one day for some reason, and on stream, obviously I didn't do it off stream, that's weird, and they put something in the hair so it tastes really bad, so kids keep it out of their mouth, and I learned that it tastes horrible. But yeah, so that's why I was playing with that. I'm just fiddling, sorry. And now the dog
all good. I was going to say, I saw on TikTok just today, it was the delinquent road hazard scene, but like the point of the TikTok was advertising this it's a Philips TV with like ambient backlighting, so like whatever is on the screen, it like projects light out of the back of the TV and like lights up the wall behind it. It was the delinquent road hazard scenes, like the wall was lighting up, and I want to buy the TV. So best advertising ever for it.
There you go. You fall right into that trap. Hook, line, and sinker. What on, Phillips?
You know what? I'll admit it too. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
it worked.
They do look good. I know exactly what you're talking about. The television. I don't know the video, but more RGBs are better. Obviously, you can have more RAM and everything you own if you have more RGBs. So you get it on your telly. That's wicked. But
okay, I did want to ask before, Chad. It's related to streaming, and it's okay if you don't really want to get into it.
Yeah, no.
But I want to ask, what got you into streaming? Like, what was your life like before streaming? Because I think I've heard like bits and pieces before, and it sounds like there's a bit of a story behind it, or there's like a bit more than what we see. Yeah, I'm keen to know. Like, yeah.
Well, what actually got me into streaming was just curiosity, boredom, essentially, really. Like I worked a job before this, 6 days a week for 10 plus years. I've done a couple stints in the mines, which is 7 days a week. You get 1 week off. So I've always been quite work based, which has been something that I slightly regret now. I wish I could go back and sort of say to myself, there's more to work, there's more to life than work. There's so much more amazing things, but I was very focused and that's what I wanted to do. So long story short, I don't have many IRL friends. Like I had 2 people that I could count on that aren't my mum and my dad or my family. So it was just boredom, loneliness. So yeah, COVID started. I was playing FIA, share button on a G29, and I went, let's bloody have a bit of a go. And there's always a sort of tongue-in-cheek, like, how cool would it be to play video games and get money to do it? Like, that's always wicked, because who doesn't love playing video games? But, it was just sort of, initially I was going to do it. That's it. Righto, thanks. I literally, by the end of the first broadcast, I was like, thanks for the time. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I wish you all the best. But I'm going. See ya, sort of thing. And they're like, oh, when are you racing next? I'm like, Saturday. And they're like, we'll be here if you're here. And I'm like, I had the obligation, and I was like, oh, well, I don't want to let them down. I'll be here. And to their credit, I should say, they were there, and I was there. Then more people came. We had 10. Then more, and yeah, it just continually grew. And then it was like, get a camera. So I went and bought like a cheap second-hand camera for my PlayStation 4, plugged it in, and started doing dumb shit. And people
I did too. I bought a second-hand PlayStation camera as well.
Yeah, and then I went hit affiliate. I'm like, righto, well, I'm quitting cigarettes because I didn't want to smoke on stream or take breaks all the time. So I quit smoking. I'm like, I'm going to reward myself. So I bought a stream PC, then I bought a camera, then I bought the lights, and it just continually evolved. And yeah, it was never really an intention to stream. It was never really. It was just, as I said before, I didn't think anyone would want to watch, and that's why numerous times at stream, I sound like a broken record so many times, but I'm continually like, thank you for being here. Thank you. It means more to me than what you know, because it does. It's been a turning point for me mentally in a journey that was quite hard up to that point. I feel like I'm a completely new person, a person that I should have always been. So cool, it's been. Yeah, I think I speak for a lot of streamers when I say this, but it's so beautiful to have so many people just come and hang out and talk and be your friend, want to be there with you, not having to be there but wanting to take some time, and that's the thing that really rips about streaming is the camaraderie and everything around that. So yeah, that's really, it was just necessity, or not necessity, it was just an impulse, literally impulse.
Like COVID too, wasn't it?
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, correct. And Adam was one of the first pages I followed. So I followed I'm all first on this account because it said, "Oh, do you want to start one?" And like my other Twitch was a thing called Dooney Doons. If you're
Dooney Doons, I remember Dooney Doons.
Yeah, Dooney Doons. That's my original. And I didn't like it. I'm like, it sounds stupid, but Adam knows because that was my PSN for ages. And at the start, I was not saying I'm really overly skilled now, but I was less skilled than at the start. And I used to have a voice bot that used to read every chat message that got read. It was read to me, so I could always talk back. And that was my thing. People are here, and I want to provide and hopefully make them feel a part of something, whether it's a big welcome and yelling and screaming and sounds and lights, or just how you doing? What's up? How's life? And at the start it was just so I didn't cry. That's the god honest truth. Yep.
Do you have any advice that you would give to new streamers that are starting out, or people that are thinking, I'd kind of like to try streaming, you know?
Do it. The biggest regret, I will say, and I think I can speak for a lot of streamers, do it. If you go in there and you think, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the next bloody, I don't know who's someone who's trending, Ninja, I guess, but he's not kind of falling off. I don't know, XQC, I don't know, all those big streamers, I don't watch it. But, you know,
$1 million makers, eh?
Correct,
What?
Amaranth, well, geez, and and other content creators, you know, but I think if you go in with the idea of to have fun and to stream what you want to stream and not stream for numbers, so don't play a game that's overly saturated. The one thing I will say is I am so grateful to Gran Turismo Sport as a game. It was a sad day to switch it off for the last time. It's kind of like that meme, like one day you just don't go back online. And to see that game go, I never thought I would tear up over a game, but that game brought in everyone that we have now and made it so much bigger. But the great thing with Gran Turismo and sim racing, I think we're kind of blessed a bit, is that there's less viewership, and that means there's less streamers. So you have more discoverability. So my idea is, if you don't like sim racing, that's totally fine. But if you're going to stream, don't stream your Call of Duties. I'm saying that. Don't stream your Call of Duty expect to become massive, because if you've got 0 to 1 viewer, you're at the bottom of 30 pages. No one's going to find you. Gran Turismo Sport would have like 1 to 2 pages. If you've got 10 viewers, you're probably within the top 2 rows. Your discoverability is huge. My next thing I'd say to streaming is turn off your viewer count. Stream like there's 1,000 people there.
I was gonna touch on that when you first mentioned it earlier about how, like, it always seems like the less you care about numbers, the more they come to you. Like, I mean, I think Smoke, we were talking about this a while ago. There are like some YouTube videos where, like, I've put so much effort into them and they're all meticulously edited and it's great. And I get like 17 views, but then I'll post a clip of a glitch, or, you know, like a car freaking out because of some physics bug, and that gets like thousands of views, and all I did was upload it straight from the console. It was like, the less you care, the more, like, you know, like prepared, you know, like, have your expectations low and have them exceeded rather than have high expectations and be disappointed.
Yeah, correct, because it can be sold too.
I've seen that advice of turning off your view count from like the YouTube channels that kind of say like tips for starting out streamers and, you know, those like but like that bit of advice is in all of them. Don't stream for a number, turn off your view count, don't pay attention to it. Stream to nobody like you're streaming to 1,000, like you say. So
exactly.
I think it's a great piece of advice.
It's crucial, because it can change how you interact and your mood. So if I was to see an influx of, let's say, 20 people come in, I'm like, oh shit, okay, and then I go to the next gear of being an absolute weirdo to try and entertain those new people. But then if I saw those numbers drop, I'd sort of be like, oh, is it something I said, or what did I do? It can then change. You know, you can be up and down and up and down. So I just turn it off, forget about it. If there's people in chat and someone's having a chat, if not, I'll just talk to myself, or I'll sing, or I'll do something, or whatever. But I think that's a big one. You know, there's other things, like try and be as predictable as you can with your schedule, and be as open as you can with any changes or anything like that. And just so I kind of look at myself, what I attempt to do here as more of like a show. Like you got you know, I'm not saying I'm anyone's favorite. I'm not trying to sound conceited or anything, but you know, like you got your favorite thing you like to watch, and you think about that. Like, I've got my favorite podcast, Hamish and Andy, that comes out every Thursday, and I can't wait, and I'm so excited. It's coming out on Thursday.
Or Trackside Lounge.
Yeah, of course. No, I don't want to follow you guys up. You were second. But in saying that, you know, like, it's. I have to wait. I get hungry. I need more. You know what I'm saying? So that's.
We've all been there. We've all been there with some kind of content that we want to come out.
And so I sort of treat it in that sort of respect, and just be there. But I think just be yourself. If you stream to get rich and you stream for anything like that monetary stuff, you're gonna be very empty.
It's gonna reflect on your content too. Like, people 100%. Can tell if your heart's in it.
Yeah, and that's right. And I think personally, like donation goals or anything like that. I steer clear of it. But, you know, in saying that, I never started streaming to become rich. I never started streaming to make $1. The amount of money I've put into it, it's redundant, but that's not the point. It's something that is a beautiful hobby, and something that I have a massive passion about. But I think just find the game that you want to stream, and people will be there to come and hang out and chat. If you don't like what you're playing or don't like what your content is, it's going to reflect very quickly. So yeah, just go with it. Don't worry about the numbers and just do it. That's the biggest thing. If I could go back 2 years ago or 5 years and go start streaming, I would be, you know, who knows what could have happened, and I'll have to deal with that and that thought of being like, well, you didn't do it, dickhead. So now,
the what ifs.
Yeah, the what ifs. But I'm so glad that I did. But yeah, other than that, yeah, be reliable, be there, be yourself, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the friendships. Enjoy the laughs. Enjoy the memories that you make with just different people, and just embrace how beautiful people can be, because there's plenty of absolute bellends out IRL, and sometimes you sort of get lost in everything in life and all that, and I think to embrace everything that can be on streaming is amazing. So just try and take it in and upload to YouTube, because you'll regret it if you don't. And you know, socials, obviously I'm super slack with all my other socials, but I forget about it. I forget about posting TikToks. I forget about Instagram. I'm too busy thinking about how I can improve stream. But I think if you continually push yourself and strive, it'll happen. It's just a matter of time. I don't think it's, you know, anything more than that. I've been extremely lucky, I honestly feel. But yeah, I think the oversaturated game, steer clear of, and just do your thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful advice. I'm actually going to follow the view count one.
Please do. It's hard. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's really difficult, especially if you've already started with view count. It's you know, I was sort of lucky at the start. I sort of watched one of those videos like Adam just said. But once you're used to it, it's like a weight's been lifted off you. It's a burden gone. Just go with it. I find it more empowering, because you could finish a stream like I did, and I had 800 and something people, and you're like, holy shit, what happened here? Yeah. But I was just having as much fun as like it was 5 or 10,000. So yeah, do it, Smock, and see how you feel. I'd love to hear back. I'd love your feedback.
I don't stream as much as I thought I wanted to before I started streaming, but like when I do and I look up and it's like 0, it's like, well, there's no point. Like, there's no point pretending to be a big personality if there's no one watching. But it's like, well, then if I miss one person coming in because I'm watching the game not saying anything, they're going to leave instantly.
Yeah.
So whereas in the first place, if I didn't even know there was 0 people and acted like there was 100, those people that trickle in, they're going to stay, and then I've never thought about it
because
like
otherwise,
that. So
and you can look too desperate. You can see that one person coming and be like, "Oh, g'day, I got a viewer. Yo, what's up, dude?"
Yeah, you scare them away because you're trying to be like, Dude,
I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to just come in and watch some and check the vibe.
Calling them out.
You know,
calling them out.
Yeah.
Correct. And I think that, you know, I think to draw attention to the viewership, and that's one thing that I don't try and do. If we're doing good numbers, I'll see at the end of the stream in my stream summary, but at the time, you just turn that off and practice. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because when you've got like, you know, 100 people watching you, and you're sitting there waiting to chat to engage with you, and you're not providing anything that's worth lurking on, well, they'll probably leave. You know what I mean? But it depends on, you know, but then it depends on your driving. So I sort of fall back on my outlandishness and saying silly, stupid stuff, swearing way too much, talking way too much rubbish. But, you know, like Adam, I could watch Adam because I'm just staring at his arms. And then sometimes I'm like, look at the screen and he's going pretty good, I guess. You know, but like it depends on the content as well. And, you know, if you not openly talkative, you don't have to try and be someone you're not, because that will reflect poorly. And people will see through it. People will see that. There's enough people watching streams to read you. But I think, and just take it as a moment to practice and get ready for when you go big. And just keep on doing it because you love doing it. If you don't love doing it, your heart's not in it. It's not for everyone. And don't feel bad about that.
I get a lot of people asking me like how much money I make from Twitch, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'd still do it even if I made $0, and I make close to $0 from Twitch. You know, I don't make a lot, but yeah, I would do it. I do it to interact with the chat and like hang out with a bunch of mates, just like you do. Like, obviously, my streams are much more competitive oriented, but I enjoy having company when I do that, and you know, providing something of value to the people that are watching, even when I'm not interacting with chat so much. But yeah, like I say, if you're doing it for a numerical or monetary purpose, you're going to get frustrated and annoyed if your progress isn't as high as you want it to be, and you got to do it because you love it.
If you whack like targets and, you know, goals on yourself, like you're saying earlier about the sub goals and the donation goals and stuff. I mean, it's
a money grab. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, and I used to have a follower goal. I've since removed that because I had it there because I understand people want to help and they want to see it grow naturally. But also, I didn't want to seem like I was trying to farm for anything. If you want to follow, thank you. I appreciate it. If you don't, cool. Look, I don't care. You don't need to follow the chat. The one thing I will say about anything else, chat follower, you have to follow the chat. If you do that, I strongly suggest turning it off. For me, it's the biggest turn off. I will choose if I'm going to follow someone, and if I need to follow you to interact with you, no.
You want to interact first to figure out. I want to vibe it out. You know what I mean? Like, yo, dude, exactly. What's up? And he could be like, oh, Chad, what a dumb name, or or just be. Well, I think you have to earn people's time. You have to earn that follow. You can't just default it in and sort of push them in and be like, you have to give me that number to talk to me. I think you should earn it. And I personally get turned off by it. If I raid over and they've got follower chat, I'm kind of a bit like, well, you're kind of grabbing at us, like you're forcing our hand, and I don't like that. I just sort of it rubs some people the wrong way. Yeah,
it rubs me the wrong way, 100%. Yeah,
I think it's. I don't know if it's Twitch or YouTube, but there was one platform because I was watching like some sporting thing. It was like LPL or well, it wasn't LPL, but it was like some esports.
It was an organisation broadcast. Yeah,
it was an organisation broadcast, and not only did you have to follow them to chat, but you had to be followed for, I think it was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was Porsche.
I think it was Porsche. Oh, yeah, it was the Porsche one. I was in the same boat.
That's right.
It was the one because like Matthew and Danny and Chupagetti, I think, were racing it. It was the Taycans at Suzuka on the GT Sport back then.
And
still.
Like I can understand filtering out like spam, you know, like if there might be a bunch of people that just want to roll up to the chat and just go, oh,
there's the bots that come in and say buy follows, but that's all you'd get rid of.
Hey, I like them because I can buy some more followers. It's always I need 100. That'll work. That'll grow.
But on the topic of like a donation goal or like follower goal or stuff, I think not having it also means that you can't, like, if you did a donation thing, like a fundraiser, we're fundraising for men's health or for, then having it there actually means more. It's not like it's just part of the stream that's always there.
It's not just for you.
Yeah. See, if I were to do a stream for a charity or something, I would probably put the donation, like some sort of donation goal on there, but I'd make sure that whoever was there would know that 100% of that is going to get moved on to that charity. It's not going to be for me. And then it would also then mean not many of my streams would have that goal on there. Like, if it was there, it'd mean something. It wasn't just there for me.
It's not going to be one of those ones. Not going to be one of those ones where at the end of the stream, Smoke made $15,000 for prostate cancer or whatever, and then there's a little asterisk at the bottom. 95% of the money's actually going to Smoke's personal savings or something.
Yeah. You're buying me a 3090. They're worth $2,000, so that's pretty good. But the
other thing that I actually have a sub girl now, and I have it on all of my streams up to date, and it's 500 subs. But the reason is because
the face reveal. That's right. Yeah,
it's the face reveal. So you might be wondering, like, why am I silhouetted right now? It's because on my own personal stuff, like my YouTube channel, I haven't showed my face, And
I know. Yeah, I see you.
So now obviously they're connected, so the people that watch my YouTube, I promote this podcast as well, and it's like, well, I don't want them to see my face just yet.
That's right, but it's towards a goal as a community to hopefully bring people together for something that we all want to see, which is your face. So it varies a lot on each application and what you're trying to do, I think, with it.
Yeah,
but I know there's nothing wrong with follower goals, but I think, like having a sub goal, like no one, especially at my stream, and I think I speak for everyone here. We're not talking about the dollars, so you don't need to subscribe.
Oh, no.
The time's the most precious thing you can get. So if I feel like there's like a weight hanging over my head, like there needs to be this, again, I'm just a little bit like, well, what am I? What am I to you? You know what I mean? Like, do you want to have a chat or do you want me to give subs? You know what I mean? And I know they probably, they most definitely, or maybe not, trying to look at it that way, but that's how I feel. So that's why I don't do it. So I just made and try to make a stream that I would want to watch. And that's that.
Yeah,
but that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think before we wrap up, Chad, do you have any questions for any of us?
Or anything you'd like to say?
Bloody good looking.
Anything.
Adam, why are you too quick? Nismonath, I love you. And Smok, show us your face. But no, firstly, I'd like to say thank you for not only allowing me to be here. I was super stoked because I sort of said in tongue-in-cheek in a passing comment, Nismo, I'll be on there.
Yeah.
And sort of, again, tongue-in-cheek. And then Adam sort of said, Nismo said, and I'm like, yes, of course, dude. What? Of course. So, I appreciate you guys for doing something and helping us to hopefully inspire or help or do whatever and learn more, become better in regards to streaming, sim racing, or just general knowledge. I think I'd like to say thank you to everyone that takes their time to put these on. Smok for editing, because that's a pain in the bum. I can't edit anything. I can barely edit my head onto a, 6-pack chiseled sort of a body. But when I do, my Tinder profile is, so good. No, I'd just like to say thank you. Honestly, questions-wise,
you're welcome.
I know Adam very well. Nizzy, I know well. Smok, not as well, but I will get to know you better, I promise. But it's just been a wicked journey, Adam. I'm going to alienate you and point you out because you've been a massive supporter of our channel.
Yeah.
You've been
Huge believer
with us for before 50, I believe. You've seen the
it was 30
evolution.
Yep.
30. So yeah, well before affiliate.
Followers.
Now coming 2 years later down the track, and you're still hanging around and talking shit and racing with us. I appreciate that. Nizzy, I know you got heaps on, but I love seeing you always, man. So no, it's just wicked. It's just life rips. Life honestly rips. And it's just been great to be a part of things like this. And I hope that if you ever want me back, I'm happy to come back.
Mate, there's got to be a part 2.
Just dig it. Please. I'm not inviting myself.
But yes. Him back on.
No, I'd love to.
If the fans want it.
Yeah,
I'll ask.
They will, yeah. Something I know as well. A lot of the people that watch this podcast, they watch the whole thing. They will watch to the end.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. The loyalty of so many of the people that, watch podcasts or listen to podcasts or whatever, and streams. It's like start to end, and it's really, really, really quite cool. And I think, you kind of forget those things, and it's just very humbling to be in any of this, in this whole community of Gran Turismo sport, Gran Turismo 7, but more importantly now just sim racing and friendships is wicked. So yeah, I hope that everyone that's watched and listened has enjoyed everything. But please, if you ever want me, I'll be here. I'll put the dogs on the screen. I don't mind.
Oh,
We know a
hell
look at my
yeah.
head, so that's right.
Happening.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, did anyone have anything else?
Oh, just thank
add?
you to Chad for coming on, mate.
Yeah,
'Cause,
100%.
I know you're obviously saying thank you to us for having you on, but honestly, I think having you on our podcast does more favors to us than it does to you, because you got a much bigger following on your platform and things like that. So as much as you're grateful to us, we're thankful to you for coming on.
Absolutely.
You know,
Pleasure.
it's great to have you.
No, and as I said before, I think we even started. I don't know if we said before we started or when we started. I think it might have been when we started. A lot's happened, but it's actually just been really great interacting with you, beautiful humans. It's it's just been like chatting to mates. And that's been wicked. So I think I hope that resonates, and I think you guys do that fantastically in the pod. I have been listening on the lead up, so I think you guys are doing a great job. But
thank you
as always.
All right, well, Chad, thank you so much.
Pleasure,
it's
thank
been
you.
a pleasure to have you. You're humble, inspirational. I personally have picked up some things that I could change about the way I run my content from you, and I'm going to implement hiding the view count. That's going to be something I do, because I think maybe that will help maybe reignite some of the enthusiasm that I admit I have lost from streaming. And I haven't been doing it that long, but yeah, I'll
back
pick
into
that up.
it. Yeah, find that fire and let me know. I'd love to hear the feedback from anyone if there's anything that I've said that's helped. Or if you'd like to come ask more questions, I'm open and honest about the streaming setups, anything and everything. My life, I don't mind. I hope we can, all grow and become better. And I think, I think we definitely are. So come to Twitch as well, twitch.tv.
Make sure to check out Chad's Discord too, because it's a real
100%.
All his links are there. All his links will be on the screen.
Wherever they are.
They will be.
Shout out Smok.
I don't know where they're going.
They'll be there somewhere. They'll be around
Chadryce's Discord,
head.
and I presume Chad, your inbox is open to everyone on that Discord, eh?
Slide in my DMs, babies! Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, I always to anyone. As you just said about our Discord, I truly am very humbled by that, because the Good Vibes Discord is exactly that. It's a place where you can come and hang out, talk about anything, everything. We've got a great thing called Positivity Chat, which is one of the most wholesome places, and I'm so glad to have my name on the front door. But where people come in, and if they're having a hard time, speak up, and there's going to be a whole bunch of people that have gone through some stuff, and if you don't feel comfortable in doing it on a public forum, slide in my DMs. I might just be some random dude on the internet with a creepy moustache and some Jeffrey Dahmer glasses, but it's always something, and I'm happy to be there for anyone at any time. So please slide in my DMs if you want to send panless photos or weird stuff, crazy links. Please, not scared. Thank you. And if you've got any gold bullion, like that one guy that I keep giving my bank details to, please just can you transfer the money in? This is ridiculous. I'm sick of it.
Oh, that's so cool, man. Well, to all the listeners, all the viewers, thank you so much for making it to the end. And again, Chad, thank you for jumping on. Because I think, as Atom said, it does more for us than it does for you. But obviously, that's not why we do it.
Doesn't matter, man. I'm happy to be here, 100%. And I know it's going to be wicked. I'm going to promote the absolute guts out of on stream now. So as soon as you're ready, let me know when it's going out, please. But I'm going to pump it up now.
You'll hear it. You'll hear about it. But all right, for everyone, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe, because we'll get more guests on in the future. So if you want a particular guest on, let us know. We can reach out. Or even conversation topics as well. If you want to know something about a particular person, let us know down in the comments, and we will ask that question when we get that guest on. But that's the end of this podcast today, and that means that is it from us. So once again, we do thank you very much for watching. See you later.
Hell yeah!
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.